gentlemen, good evening. Welcome back to the Louis Basketball Network. Welcome back to the live stream. This is Louis Basketball Network's 7th live stream. It is your boy Louis, and I'm back once again with another banger with yet another live stream. Usually I would say video, but it's live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure to like the video as you come in. We have plenty to talk about on this Saturday evening. Welcome, everyone. I want to see who is coming in right into the live stream. I'm just going to just keep waiting. The crazy part is I wanted to talk about Mr. Antonio Brown over here, which is so crazy, man. Really crazy. As you guys already know, football season already started. Packers beat the Bears 10-3. And I said that the Packers actually, they looked good. And I said for once, they have a defense for the first time since they actually won the damn Super Bowl. We got to talk about DeMarcus Cousins. We're going to talk about Kawhi Leonard's sister. Apparently, there was some big news on that, and it doesn't sound really too good. We're going to talk about something that I had to mention about when it came to LeBron James once again, and I have to bring this back up. I also am going to talk about Anthony Davis and how Steven Jackson continues to cap saying that AD will be a better player, a better version of Tim Duncan, which I firmly disagree with. But, let's just see, again, who continues to come in. Let's just see who is in here, who is in the building. Your boy Louis Basketball Network's in the building. As I lower the screen on the laptop, check it out right there. As you can see the dragon right there, that is from Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is my show. I love that show. It's too bad that the 8th and final season is over. But I've been on that. I gotta start watching Power again for sure. Because Power's my show again. My man Ghost, man, can't. I gotta get up on. I still gotta catch up. I missed, I believe, what episode are we on? I think it's got to be episode 3, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, because I think Power started on the 25th of August, so I got to get it back up on that for sure. I definitely will catch Power tomorrow, and got to watch those episodes, but it's going on. Shout out to my man, D. Jefferson Debate Cage. What is good, bro? What is going on, man? How is everything on this Saturday evening for you, my man? And once again, I appreciate you and your man Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. Winning those masterminds. I told you, bro. Like the dragon on my damn long sleeve out here. I told you I was gonna come back like a monster, man. Breathing like a blue-eyes white dragon out here from Yu-Gi-Oh! I told you I was gonna come back, breathing that heat and that fire. I told you. Told you I was coming back, making that definitive mistake. I said I wasn't gonna make it again. So you already know what it is. So I wanted to talk about a little bit football, even though this is Louis Basketball Network. And once again, shout out to D. Jefferson because he already told me after winning the football comment with 12 mastermind points, which I truly appreciate. And ladies and gentlemen, as I talk on this platform, please go check out Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. Please go check it out. The personality of D, him and Speak Your Mind working on the scenes with the video editing. I'm telling you, man, D has a personality for the camera. Yo. For the love of sports, he loves to talk about it, has us invested with his mastermind competitions. He's definitely going to continue to do more. And, like I said, go check that channel out, man. Like, just go, man. Just see what the man's got to say, just the stuff that he was covering. He was actually doing a little bit of commentary with the USA and Greece game. I didn't get to see the game, but I know USA won for sure. So, like I said, go check them out, man. Like, it's like, D is the man when it comes to sports, man, and he knows the sports, and he always gives you a little touch of and just a little bit of everything. That's my man D for you, man. So you already know what it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about Antonio Brown. So what's been going on with Antonio Brown? I really don't know. Some people are saying that Antonio he's an intelligent guy that's making people look like that he's got some sort of form of CTE, that his mind isn't right, and that he's really fooling people. That he's good, like he knows what he's doing. Okay, he got out of Pittsburgh. He went to the Raiders. The man left $30 million on the table And next thing you know, what's going on, my man Jay? Welcome to the building, man. I appreciate you. It's crazy the well, before I get continue on the Antonio Brown, D Jefferson says that he did the Serena Williams and the Bianca Andreescu commentary today too. It was great. Yo, that's awesome, man. I heard that Serena lost in the final to her. That's pretty crazy, man. And yeah, D, that's what I was just gonna talk about. So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. AD has been capping, and he has been going on social media and Twitter like crazy when it comes to bashing coaches, players, and GMs, even and former teammates. So John Gruden has been trying to downplay to the media that AB will be a Oakland Raider and that he will be playing, despite the fact that there's been rumblings that he hasn't been coming to practice. There's been rumblings that he hasn't really been given that work ethic. AB says that he has been. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, Antonio Brown is a New England Patriot. He signed for 1 year, $15 million. You know what's so crazy about the signing, ladies and gentlemen? I know that he's not going to play tomorrow, but what really just gets me is the fact that New England plays Pittsburgh tomorrow. You already know the history that he has with Pittsburgh. He's called out Mike Tomlin. He's called out Ben Roethlisberger. He called out his former teammate Ryan Clark. He even called out Schuster, okay, Juju Schuster, who was actually one of his supporters, okay. So, like, if you listen to that, one of his supporters, and he called him out, and he said everybody in that organization was fake. Ryan Clark came out and said there was one time in practice that Antonio Brown even called out Dick LeBeau. I'm going to say that again. Ryan Clark said one time in practice, Antonio Brown called out Dick LeBeau in practice. What's so crazy is, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what's going on with Antonio Brown. I feel like something is just really off about him. Something is really off. I don't know what it is, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but something is really off with Antonio Brown. I mean, you should have seen the reaction when Adam Schefter put the report that the Raiders cut him. And I'm like, if I'm the Oakland, here's the thing. If we look at both sides here, yeah, the Oakland Raiders are not dealing with the distraction that Antonio Brown brings to your franchise because he's bringing a lot of baggage right now. The problem is you knew this history coming in. And I could tell that AB did not want to be an Oakland Raider. Yet here he was, an Oakland Raider, practicing, had a picture of the Raiders like on his wall. Next thing you know, he wants out because he is calling the GM what is it, May Rock, I think is his name is. I'm not sure. But they were saying that he called him a cracker and he was bashing him with the issue saying that he wasn't going to get paid. And it was just a back and forth and it was just not looking good. So John Gruden tried to downplay the whole situation, and it's like, dude, it's not gonna happen. Like, dudes are gonna really cap in and go in. So then Antonio Brown, AB, decides to put on social media the phone conversation that he had with John Gruden. Yo, I said, man, after that, you already know that dude is no longer gonna be an Oakland Raider. I already know. And he already told the Raiders to cut him. He said it. Because he felt disrespected, and he was telling John Gruden while they showed the video of the phone conversation that he's more than a football player, than he is a human being, and he feels like he wasn't being treated by a human being. Here's what Antonio Brown thought. He thought the crap that he got away with in Pittsburgh and how much the Steelers covered up his shit, he thought he could do that in Oakland. He thought. And let's see. Hold on. Before I get on, D. Jefferson says, yo, the Bill's going to keep him straight in New England, though. It seems that every problem players do very well with Bill Belichick's going to get him straight, fam. I mean, to be honest with you, yo, a lot of players that end up going to Pittsburgh that have a lot of issues end up being okay. Just look at Randy Moss when he signed. And you know the history he had with the Vikings and a lot of controversial, shit that he did with them. I still remember. I still remember that touchdown he did in that wild card game against the Packers, and he mooned the crowd. That was vivid in my memory. So, I mean, to be honest with you, I look at it this way. Knowing that the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing tomorrow, AB signs with the rival. He signs with the rival New England Patriots. And I agree with you, D. You're making a great point because, Bill Belichick has been able to manage big egos. So, it's nothing new right there. But I'm just thinking about this now. Originally, as I did in D's Speaking My Sports Talk Mastermind competition of the football topic, who you had in the Super Bowl predictions, I originally said with the additions that the Chiefs made after being dead last in defense, no, next to last in defense last year, I literally thought in my mind that the Chiefs would make a run at the Super Bowl, knowing the additions they have on defense and picking up LaShawn McCoy. Now, the Patriots end up getting AB. So now you got Demaryius Thomas. You have Julian Edelman, who's one of the best inside route runners in the game that we have, especially with quick passes. You have newly signed Antonio Brown, and you got Josh Gordon on the outside. Bro, that's that. Just those four guys on offense. That's going to give the defense fits on how to game plan for them. And the Patriots are very good with their offensive game planning for years when it comes to calling plays. I'm telling you, man. And it's like I think that originally I picked the Chiefs and the Eagles, and the Eagles are stacked, by the way. They're stacked, and I'm glad they got Deshaun Jackson back. I just wish somehow they were able to get Melvin Gordon. Like I would really love for him to be on that team. I'm just saying, but. I might have to change my pick depending on if everybody stays healthy on the Patriots, especially on the offense. Like AB stays healthy all year, he stays out of trouble, is not a distraction, which I think he won't be because, like I said, they was able to do it with Randy Moss and a lot of players who've had a lot of baggage coming in over the years. They can do it with Antonio Brown. He took $15 million, so he's getting $9 million guaranteed. I think AB will be on his best behavior, and I think, like I said, and to me, there's a little bit of method to his madness when it comes to that. So. But yeah, that Patriots team is loaded on the offensive end, man. And it's like I might have to change my pick to Eagles and Patriots with the way it's looking right now. I mean, you still got to put the Chiefs right there. I think to me, it's going to be the Chiefs and the Pats in the AFC Championship, barring injuries to key players. I think it's Chiefs Patriots in the AFC Championship, in my opinion. It's funny though because when AB was being released by the Raiders before he signed with the Pats, I was looking at potential teams that he could have won with. I was thinking the Jets and reuniting with Le'Veon Bell. I said that would have been a nice little tandem. I thought about who else did I think about? Yeah, he did. It did. Yep. Thank you, Jay. Oh, this is truth. He pulled a Randy Moss, wanted to play for the coach and the captain Brady. And I'm telling you, he's doing this to stick it to the Steelers. I'm telling you right now, man. He signed with the rival. So I'm telling you, once he wins the Super Bowl, just imagine what he's gonna do in social media if he's on his best behavior and he wins a Super Bowl ring with the Pats. He is gonna blow it in the Steelers' faces. He's gonna blow it. I'm telling you right now. So yeah, man, I'm telling you, man, that lineup is stacked right on the offensive side of the ball for the Pats, man. Brady's got weapons. Tom Brady is a great quarterback, and I give him his respect. I just feel like the media is slurping too much Tom Brady juice when it comes to like overcapping for him. He's a great Super Bowl champion. He has 6 rings. I mean, like I said, he's right there, top 2, top 3 quarterbacks in my opinion of all greatest of all time. The problem I have is that they cap so hard for him being the greatest, and it's like, there's like other great quarterbacks who played in the game too, man. Like. I get it. Like his ability to make big plays in the fourth quarter, his ability to come back, his ability to sustain long drives, man, being able to push guys down the field. If you notice, people never force Brady to throw long. They always keep playing deep, and Brady is always able to throw quick passes, screen passes in the fourth quarter. He does it a lot, and that's been the trademark his whole career, with or without great receivers. With or without great receivers. Oh, for sure. The Redskins could have definitely used him. That's definitely true. I agree with that one. They could have used him. I could have said, imagine if he was a Dallas Cowboy, because I'm thinking with the way that Jerry Jones is and the type of drama that AB likes to bring. Oh, you don't think Skip would have loved to talk about this situation? Think about that. You have Amari Cooper. You got AB on the outside with Zeke Elliott. You telling me they won't kill with that team? And remember, he left $30 million off the table from the Raiders and took half of that. So because of like D said, he wanted to play with Jay said he wanted to play Captain Brady and with with Coach. So Jay says it's easy to play the way you're supposed to and act the way you should because the Super Bowl is real possibility every year with a healthy Bear. That's why I said before, you can never count Brady and Belichick out. The system that they have, when you have a quarterback like Tom Brady, who is just about as consistently healthy, and doesn't really miss a lot of games, because the only time that he really missed a lot was when he injured his ACL one time. Whatchamacallit. But I think that, you definitely have a chance, when you're with Tom Brady. So that's for sure. Jay is right. I think with a healthy Brady, you always have a chance to win every year when you're with the Patriots, because they're always going to be right there. And I'm going to just say this, man. I really wish the AFC East would be much more competitive because Brady's dominated that division for the last, 17 or 20 seasons now. I really wish the Jets will get their act together, the Bills will get their act together, and the Dolphins will get their act together, because it's like nobody's always talking about the AFC East. Every time we talk about the AFC East, it's like, oh, Pats. It's like you don't even got to go look through the division. It's like, oh, let's see what teams. No, Pats. You already know. So it's like you won't even touch it. My man Omar Page, what's good, bro? What's good, bro? Checking it out. And before quick question. Do you think LeBron will be MVP this year? To be real quick, I'm on that. He'll be a candidate, but no, he won't be MVP. No. And here's the thing, I'm gonna be quick on this one too. If LeBron tries to get the MVP, best believe the Lakers are gonna be out of sync. They're gonna be out of sync. I'm sorry. That's not happening. That's not happening. I feel like Donovan Mitchell to me will be a candidate for MVP this year. That's a guy who I'm looking at could be possibly MVP. He has a good chance to be the MVP. And I said it once again, is LeBron going to let AD be the guy, or is he going to try to take control of the team? Because then his fanboys are going to go, oh, well, even if LeBron had a losing season, LeBron was clearly the best player in the game. He should be the MVP. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this again. LeBron James is no longer the best player in the game. He still plays at a high level, but he's not the best player in the game. People need to stop and debunk that myth right away. Case closed. And by the way, since you have mentioned LeBron James, and thank you for mentioning him, I'm going to mention something about LeBron first of all, shout out to man Weiss right here. Steph Curry is definitely going to be an MVP candidate. And I actually honestly believe he has a chance to be top 2, top 3, and possibly win the MVP. That's just my opinion. But getting back to the Antonio Brown situation. Omar says the Patriots are the favorites to win the Super Bowl since they got Antonio Brown. Absolutely. There's no question about that. There's no question about that. Oh, wait, before that, D says, what if he would have gone over there with OBJ? Oh, I was saying that. Yo, D is making a hella point right there. I was talking about this. I literally said, yo, with the personality that AB is, with the personality that OBJ is, and we talk about the charismatic Baker Mayfield. You know what's so funny? I was there looking at them as the new T.O. Ocho Cinco up in Cincinnati, in Cleveland. Just because I'm just looking at it from a personality standpoint and like how they're both talented receivers, even though T.O. and Chad Johnson were not in their prime. Quick question though, do you think Chad Johnson should be a Hall of Famer? I just want to know about that. I don't know what his career numbers are. I know he was very good in his prime. Do you think Chad Johnson should be a Hall of Famer? I really wish T.O. would have won a Super Bowl ring. And to be honest with you, look at it this way too, man. If I was gonna say he had his opportunities in Dallas, it's unfortunate though that they really underachieved with that team. But I honestly think that it's unfortunate that with T.O. not being able to win a Super Bowl, and like I said, with Chad Johnson, I'm wondering if should he be in the Hall of Fame. That's a real good question. He really did. He really did. I feel like Chad is one of those who got kind of one of those issues too when it comes to personalities. I felt like Chad to me wasn't as committed to me as he should be because his personality can be a problem too when it comes to locker room. Um, so yeah, man. So the Patriots are definitely the favorites for sure. I just wanted to touch up on that AB situation real quick. I think the way that AB is acting is honestly ridiculous, if you ask me. And I called him. I said he's arguably the best receiver in the NFL, in my opinion, from a talented standpoint. I mean, you obviously got Odell Beckham, you got Julius Jones, who I wanted to touch up on real quick because he got a 3-year, $66 million deal, 64 mil guarantee for the Atlanta Falcons. That was very, very smart in the Falcons on locking that dude up. I told you when that Julio Jones is healthy, that dude is the best receiver. And I said the difference between him and Julio Jones is he doesn't throw his quarterback under the bus. But to be honest with you, with Big Ben, the Steelers are talking about how much they've covered for AB, but they've done the same thing with Big Ben, especially when it's come to those rape cases with those three different allegations with the women that he's been with, and they've kind of passed that under the rug. Big Ben doesn't get a pass, and Big Ben is not the greatest teammate in the world. So I will agree with AB on that. But that still doesn't excuse AB from being the clown that he is. I'm sorry. As great of a receiver as he is, and I love watching AB play. And the funny thing is, I'll be capping for Big Ben because he's one of my favorite quarterbacks. But when we talk about personality, when we talk about character traits, them two just don't cut it for me, man. And it's crazy because Ryan Clark literally said that this dude yelled at Dick LeBeau one time in practice. AD is pretty AB, I should say. I said AD. AB, that dude is egomaniacal, man. He thought he could get up. The reason he got away with the stuff that he did in Pittsburgh was because they were covering up a lot of shit. But they saw that shit firsthand. They know. They know. That's all with some of these organizations I don't understand. It's like these guys make you money. They do a lot of shit that you guys cover up. But then you want these guys to come and apologize. I'm like, yo, but you knew what these guys were about. You saw it firsthand, and then you want these guys to apologize. That's what I'm saying to myself, man. Do you really deserve that apology? Because it just reminds me of when these Major League Baseball players inject themselves with steroids or have somebody inject them with steroids. They're making organizations these money for playing. They're getting these huge statistical numbers. The organization knows about it, but they cap, pretending like they don't know. They get caught by baseball, and then they get banned for the amount of games that they get banned. I mean, if you look at the Sammy Sosa situation with his court bat for the Cubs, and you look at the fact that he was alleged in the Mitchell report back in 2005, or was it 2003, one of those 2 years. But ladies and gentlemen, the Cubs said that they would accept him back if he would apologize for taking steroids. You want that guy to apologize when he was hitting 60 home runs per year for your franchise? And you knew about it? Trust me, because the Cubs knew about the steroids. I'm pretty sure they did. But you out here gonna lie. And that's what I'm saying with Antonio Brown. They know what the guy was about. They've seen it, but they've covered up his shit because why? He's a talented receiver and you need him on the football field. That's why I said I could just imagine. D mentions the Browns. I mentioned the Cowboys, and I mentioned the Jets in the reunion with Le'Veon Bell. So those are 3 teams off the cap. What other teams do you think that AB possibly could have been in? Where? Let's see. Let me look into the comments over here real quick. Exactly. I've been hating the fact that the AFC East has no competition. It's like the Patriots are the only team in the division playing with nobodies up in there. It sucks. It really, really, really sucks. And shout out to Julio Jones on getting that payday. Like I said, he doesn't throw his quarterbacks or organization on the bus. AD's been calling dudes the N-word, been calling these white owners crackers. I mean, Listen, man, say what you want with some of these guys. I'm not saying that these owners are perfect because just look at Robert Kraft himself. Did he have the charges drop on his alleged little sex scandal that he was involved in? So these guys aren't perfect. But AD's doing himself no justice by being classist like that. But like I said, if he gets into any trouble with the Patriots, they will cut him, saving a roster spot. So he better be in his best behavior, and I think he will. But moving on from Antonio Brown and Julio Jones getting that payday, congrats to you, my man. Let's look at the comments over here because now I'm going to get into NBA basketball real quick. And I really want to – I'm excited for football season for all these full games tomorrow. And then ESPN with that doubleheader, we already know what it is. I'm super excited for football this season. I can't wait. I'm going to be commenting on all – I got my fantasy teams on deck. Oh, it's crazy. Antonio Brown is so funny. Well, I can't start him in week 1 now because it looked like he wasn't going to play. Then he was going to play according to John Gruden for the Raiders, and the Raiders cut him after he said he wanted to be released after the issue with the GM. Now he's with the Patriots, but he's going to miss, obviously, that game tomorrow in Pittsburgh. And I said it's so funny that he signed the night before or the day before they played Pittsburgh on Sunday night, 8:20 on NBC. Just funny. Telling you, he's trying to stick it to his old team, bro. So let's look into the comments right here before I get into these NBA topics, man. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, like the video as you come in. Make sure to share the content, please, ladies and gentlemen. Yo, you have to do this for the NBA streets, man. For my man, Louis Basketball Network, I appreciate you, all you guys, man, as always. So my man, Jay says, no, he's responding to C, where he says, do you think LeBron will win the MVP? No, if somebody got robbed, the Lakers MVP would be AD, and if the Lakers are a threat this year, it's Kawhi's to lose. The only way I see AD getting the MVP is if LeBron takes a step back. If he doesn't take a step back, it's like I said myself, look, Dwight Howard is taking jump shots, trying to be a stretch 5. And they're like, oh, he's going to average 17 and 12. I said, with the LeBron James system, I doubt that's happening. Same thing with AD. Is he going to let AD be the guy on this team? Because if it's not, I don't see AD winning the MVP. He may get MVP numbers, but I don't see him winning the MVP. And to me, this is going to expose the NBA very hard body if they was to win that. I'm like, look, the excuse is going to be, oh, LeBron is 34, 35 years old, so he's no longer really a superstar. But Kevin Durant and Steph Curry couldn't win MVP because they're playing on the same team. When historically, NBA players who have played on stacked teams have won MVPs. As a matter of fact, LeBron won back-to-back with Wade and Bosh. And his fanboys have tried to make excuses talking about that they weren't a big three, they weren't stacked. I'm like, but LeBron joined them. Wade, 6 All-Star teams, Chris Bosh, 5. And you telling me Mike Miller, you're not telling me Rashard Lewis, you're not telling me Ray Allen, you're not telling me Shane Battier that wasn't a great team? 27 straight wins, 66 win team in 2013. Please. Anywho, the C's 19871 says LeBron has something to prove this year. You know that's a contradictory statement, and I don't mean it by you. I'm not saying on you, basically, because you're just pointing it out because you feel like LeBron has got something to prove. So I'm not here attacking you on that statement. But you know what's so funny about that comment? People have been saying that LeBron's got nothing to prove. No, he's got nothing to prove. And what I've told people is, for somebody, I told you as an all-time great, LeBron is cemented as one of the GOATs of this game. But when you're out here going on your damn show talking about you the greatest of all time, you're talking about that you're chasing the ghost of Michael Jordan after winning the 2017 Eastern Conference Finals. You got something to prove, bro. And as a matter of fact, your fanboys and the Avengers 3-6 Mafia Lacronis media have said LeBron could take any 4 cans of paint with a bunch of toothbrushes and take him to the NBA Finals. First year in the West after 8 straight trips. First year in the West, and guess what, ladies and gentlemen? LeBron failed to make the playoffs. But 4th place. But 4th place. The Clippers were first, the Grizzlies were second, and the Houston Rockets were out of the playoff race. The Spurs were 13th. What you talking about, bro? It ain't how you start, it's how you finish. And where did those guys finish? The Spurs made the playoffs. The Clippers made the playoffs. And the funny thing is, after they traded for Zubac, people were looking at the Clippers as they were tanking. And they got to the 7th, and they made the 8th spot with 48 wins, mind you. 48 wins was good for 8th. That just lets you know right there, man, ladies and gentlemen. So, and LeBron was 28 and 27 in the 55 games he played. But they want to point to 27, 8 and 8. I keep telling you, when your numbers have no impact on wins, they don't mean crap. Even if he averages it, yeah, it's fine. It goes in your career statistics, but it doesn't mean jack shit if you don't win basketball games, especially when you're cherry picking rebounds. You cannot be a great rebounder if Larry Bird has a 10.6 career rebounding average in less seasons. You cannot be a great rebounder if you still have 102 less offensive rebounds than Michael Jordan. Sorry. You've been exposed if you're saying LeBron's this great rebounder, especially when he's cherry picking defensive rebounds, when his teams finish defensive possessions for him. So, Jay says, if you give yourself a nickname, you better at least a top 10 at your position category. Are you saying about LeBron James in terms of being chosen the king? Well, listen, man, I got him on my top 10. I'm just not going to move him up above those other greats that are above him on my list. I will say this, if he doesn't win a championship, he's off the top 10 and Kobe goes in. So D Jefferson, my man D says, Thomas is the man to me. That dude has the most sure hands in the league. Don't forget him. Oh, no, I didn't forget him. That's why I said Demaryius Thomas. I said, I said, the fact that Brady's got him, Edelman, Gordon, and him. And remember, Gronkowski's thinking of coming back. I'm telling you, bro, Brady's Patriots are going to be stacked, man. Stacked. My man said, we said Jerry Jones will make it happen and have Zeke on that field, dog. Oh, yeah, for sure. That was one of the people that I was thinking about. I'm telling you. And so then my man D says, Phillip Rivers and the Chargers would have made some real noise with AB too. Oh, yeah. Woo. Woo. Oh, my God. You know what really sucks about that, D? If Melvin Gordon was not doing this contract holdout, oh, my goodness. Think about that. Phillip Rivers, Keenan Allen, and AB on the outside with Melvin Gordon as your runner. Woo. Woo. And the Chargers have a good defense. Oh, my goodness. Super Bowl contenders right there. I really wish the Chargers would play in the AFC East. Just, you know why? Just for the sake of they be a challenge to the New England Patriots. Because it's ridiculous out here, man. Yo, all right. Continuing back with the topics. Back on Rebecca Benedict says LeBron has nothing at all to prove. Well, Rebecca, all respect to you. What I was saying is, as an all-time great, he has nothing to prove. But I just said it like just a couple of minutes ago. If you're saying you're chasing the ghost of Chicago and Michael Jordan, if you're being constantly compared to Michael Jordan because of the media, and like I said, LeBron does not get blamed for being compared to Michael Jordan. That's the media's fault. LeBron just, what he adds though, is the simple fact that he is smelling that narrative. He smells it. So because he's smelling and he's believing his own hype, that's the problem. And when you make statements like LeBron has been saying these past few years, and he's been bashing Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan is not giving him attention, yeah, he's got a lot to prove, especially with the fact that you went to the Lakers and they missed the playoffs in his very first year. He has something to prove. Because if he doesn't win a championship in Laker colors, because if you remember, Shaq posted a picture of LeBron with those all-time great Lakers. LeBron reposts that and talks about how humble he is. So that's my issue. LeBron hasn't proven anything in a Laker uniform. You cannot come out here and these fanboys continue to be like, oh, LeBron is a great Laker. He kept you relevant in 1 year. People have been talking about how he brings teams to the playoffs and brings teams to the finals, and he makes you an instant 50-win team. Well, the Lakers won, 37 games? They failed to make the playoffs. And this was LeBron's first year in the West after coming off an NBA Finals. As a matter of fact, 8 straight finals, mind you, with Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving, and then with just Kevin Love, and then with Wade and Bosh. Nah, sorry. And like I said, all due respect, Rebecca, I said it, like I said, as an all-time great, he cemented. Pantheon of greatness, different story in my book. Different story in my book. Shout out to my man Speaking My Sports Talk up in the building, my man SMSYMST. Sorry, I screwed that up. Peep the acronym. But he says, Louis, my friend, I am coming home late and I see you on a late live. You already know what it is, my man. Shout out to my man Speaking My Sports Talk, man. It has been a while, man. Appreciate you for being on the stream, lady. Speaking My, you already know what it is. So definitely has been a while. Definitely for sure. It has been a long time. I hope everything is good with you, my man. Like I said, you indeed doing big things on that channel of yours, man. And ladies and gentlemen, for those who are in the stream, go subscribe to Speaking My Sports Talk. If you want, like I said, if you guys want to, debate sports topics and you think like you are an expert, and like I said, whether it's MMA, a little bit of tennis, FIBA, boxing, football, basketball, y'all need to go to that channel, man, for that mastermind competition at Speaking My Sports Talk, man. Great content. Shout out to those guys. Shout out to D. Jefferson's Debate Cage, and shout out to Speaking My Sports Talk. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to start with Derrick Rose. So there have been reports basically saying that Derrick Rose has come out and said that in his mind, he feels like he is a Hall of Famer. I think with Derrick Rose, I think he is a Hall of Famer in life. I think what Derrick Rose has gone through in his career with the injuries starting in 2012, I think Speaking Mind says, thanks, Louis. And again, appreciate you, man. No problem, Speaking Mind. Always appreciate you, dog. With Derrick Rose, the funny thing is, I would say if Derrick Rose was a starter, I would say he has an opportunity to be a Hall of Famer, much more than he is as a role player right now coming off the bench. I just think the problem is that his injuries have taken too much of his career. And there was at one point in time where Derrick Rose didn't want to even look like he wanted to play basketball anymore, because Derrick Rose was at a crossroads at one point. He's only 30 years old, or 29, I believe. The problem is, I don't know if Derrick Rose is going to be healthy enough to finish his career. I hope he is. And Derrick Rose is going to have to really up his numbers if he has a case. But then again, this is the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, because they're letting everybody in. I mean, look, Vlade Divac just got nominated. And I said in my last live stream, Chris Webber should be in. But I feel like that scandal from college is holding him back. So, and D Rose, he looks great. He looks great. Like, I feel like his burst of speed is still there. He's not playing as many minutes. I think he's really learned to be able to pace himself and change gears when when necessary. Where he knows when to speed up and then when to slow down. He's improved his jump shot. If you look at his 3-point shooting, it's improved. I thought he had a great year with the Timberwolves last year. Really a bounce back season. If they had a NBA comeback player of the year, Derrick Rose definitely would win that award in my book. And the thing is, though, he's just too injury prone for me to call him a Hall of Famer, though. And like I said, I feel like he's gonna have to average. His statistics are really gonna have to go up for him to really make a case. Even though I said that they let pretty much everybody in the Hall of Fame. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this guy's the youngest MVP in NBA history, 22 years old, leading the Chicago Bulls as the #1 scorer, 25 points and 8 rebounds. Not 8 rebounds, 8 assists a game, leading them to 62 wins. When Joakim Noah missed 34 games and Carlos Boozer missed 23. So their bigs missed a lot of games during that season, missed a quarter or a third of the season. And his next best scorer was Luol Deng at 13 a game. So it just lets you know. And I said that LeBron may have had the better overall numbers, but he plays with Wade and Bosh. So, that's the thing. So I think Derrick Rose, man, I appreciate him. He's one of my favorite players. That dude, when he scored that 50, I was saying to myself, Derrick Rose is back, man. And I said, yo, it's gonna be a big year. I said, yo, I was saying to myself, if what's his face? If Jeff Teague is not careful, Derrick Rose might even become the starter. But he's good off the bench. I think at this point in his career, playing less minutes, it's less wear and tear on his body. Like, it's one thing if Derrick Rose was reckless, being a young player. But I blame Tom Thibodeau because Tom Thibodeau was the start of that trend for Derrick Rose being injured so much. That's why I was just like, he, to me, low-key, hurt his career more than anything, too. Playing him so many minutes and not really utilizing his bench. It's ridiculous, bro. But Derrick Rose says he looks fantastic, and I hope he can stay healthy this year because we can see some big things from him. He's injury prone. Yep. Like I was just saying. For sure. Woo, for sure. And that's the key. Is he gonna be able to stay healthy even as he has a lesser role? Well, he has a prominent role, 6-man. But I'm just basically saying that as a start. So once again, shout out to my man D. Jefferson. Rebecca Benedict says, "What is your take on DeMarcus Cousins' career after his injury?" Well, I've already said this many times already. He's done, in my opinion. He's done, in my opinion. 3 injuries in the last 19 months. And then it gets worse for him because he has an off-the-court issue with his ex, which I was going to dive into. Because he has issues with that, ladies and gentlemen. Because, let's see, Achilles, knee. What was the other? Oh, quad. 3 injuries in less than 2 years. He's done. I don't. The thing is that his days of a max contract, cutthroat, pretty much done. Worst part is he didn't even get to play a game for the Lakers. And he was losing weight too. It's unfortunate. And I said prayers go out to him that he makes a speedy recovery and that he's able to be on the basketball court again. But he lost his chance on max money because teams are going to be very cautious of him now. That's why I said that he coughed up $40 million, $20 million per. Instead, he thought he could make more money coming off of that injury. And what's happened now? He got knee surgery. And it's just done. That's what's really sad, bro. That's what's really, really, really sad. And it's like, yo, it's like the New Orleans Pelicans were giving you $20 million guaranteed. $20 million. You signed for $5 million with the Warriors. So that means you took 1/4 of the amount that the Pelicans were offering you per 2 years. Not only do you not take that, you take less money. You tried to get the free rent. Oh, that's another thing that the LeBron fanboys don't get. People were saying how unfair it was for DeMarcus to sign with that Golden State team. That he was going to get a free ring. You saw how Cousins performed in the finals when he came back from the quad injury. What happened to that free ring he was going to get? Not only did he not get it, he went to the Lakers and tears his ACL in a pickup game. I mean, it's sad, ladies and gentlemen, but that was the decision DeMarcus made. And like I said, you live with the decisions you make. And, you know, again, I get at the end of the day, respect his decision because again, he's the one making it, you know, as an athlete. But like I said, he really didn't. That dude really didn't do his homework. Yo, D telling Rebecca, yo, Cousins is done. That mother effort is done. Oh, man. Facts. As Rebecca says right there, that's what's really the saddest part. And I feel like DeMarcus really didn't use his brain in that situation, man. He just didn't use his brain. And now he's dealing with baby mama drama and his son. And his son is caught in the middle of a mistake that both the baby mama and DeMarcus Cousins made over the issue of him not being at the wedding. And then Cousins making the comments that he said to her. Exactly, Lewis. That off-the-court situation and the fact that he's a 7-footer with that many injuries is just bad news. It might be a good thing that the Lakers didn't get to the point of dependency. Imagine if they did. Imagine. And I said it once again, D2. That's another distraction that the Lakers don't need to deal with. It's already bad enough that they're dealing with LeBron doing this crap with the whole thing with the playoffs. The fact that he missed the playoffs. The fact that LeBron has been headline all off season with things of his son taking over basketball games and putting on a dunk fest at an AAU game, the Taco Tuesday issue. Now he's filing a grievance for Taco Tuesday, and then he's filing a grievance now for what? College athletes getting paid that they need to pass a bill, according to LeBron. And I said it before. LeBron is doing all this to say that he's better than Michael Jordan. I know what LeBron's agenda is. I already know. I mean, when Antonio Brown, see, back to AB with his almond milk mustache that he had at the time on the show, he told LeBron, he said, "What you trying to do, man? You trying to be a commentator?" LeBron said, "No, I'm trying to own an NBA team." And AB said, "Exactly, bro." He said, "This is where we at right now." He said, "This is where we at." Because LeBron wants to come back and tell Michael Jordan, "I was able to build a championship team. You've been an owner for how long, and you haven't been able to put a credible product on the NBA floor? That should make me the greatest." And see, this is the problem with the distinction and the perception, power of the mind. Shout out to Speaking My Sports Talk Indeed when they talk about that. Y'all should really go check those power of the mind, episodes out, as I should say. There are videos on that. But this is what I'm saying. They're going to continue to bring in and they're going to pull all this information about how LeBron speaks up for the black community, how LeBron can own an NBA team and put a championship team pieces. And you know what I'm going to say to myself on this? How is it, LeBron, that you can build teams, but you can't play in a system with the teams you play on to win multiple titles? So it's easy to say that you've won 3 championships as the best player on the team, but do you forget that as stacked as your teams have been, everybody has had to sacrifice for your benefit, sir? See, Kawhi Leonard and Tony Parker won Finals MVPs with the San Antonio Spurs. You think Tim Duncan cared? No, he cared about winning. Tim Duncan wasn't about his numbers. If you look at Tim Duncan's career numbers, they're 19, 10, and I think it's 2 or 3 assists, and then I think it's 2-point-something blocks for his career. People forget how injury-prone Tim Duncan was and how Greg Popovich started the low management, just not public, just it wasn't under that wording at that time, but he preserved Tim Duncan's career. Tim Duncan was about winning, bro. That's why I said that Tim Duncan was one of the most underrated leaders in NBA history. Tim Duncan was about winning. People can say what they want about Tim Duncan. Always had this great role supporting cast around him. But Tim Duncan could have easily said, "Y'all all have to do what I do and let me be the guy on this team." It's crazy. Tim Duncan was a guy without forcing people, telling people that he was the guy. And even when Popovich and the Spurs changed their philosophy and their system on how they play offense, Tim Duncan adjusted just fine. He said, "I'm going to step back, take a lesser role. I'm going to be the Bill Russell of this team, focus on defense and rebounding. And when I need to score, I'm going to score when you give me opportunities in the post. But we're going to be a more ball movement team." Greg Popovich shows you the mind of how he adjusted to today's NBA. And that's why I said with Frank Vogel, is he going to adjust to today's NBA? We don't know. We don't know. See, people are talking about, oh, LeBron, he showed up at the press conference where Frank Vogel was at. But that was because of what happened last year with Luke Walton. Ladies and gentlemen, people talking about how this long amount of rest that LeBron is getting, but did y'all forget that LeBron was on vacation? How long did it take for him to speak to Luke Walton? He took 1 month. And I said it in the last video. Frank Vogel was like, "Oh, LeBron playing point guard? Oh, that's news to me." There's already a disconnection right there. Already. I'm telling you. Shout out to my man Coco Tanko, one of the brilliant minds when it comes to basketball, man, and football too. Shout out to you, Koku. Appreciate that, man. That dude is knowledgeable, very knowledgeable when it comes to sports. He says DeMarcus has had 3 injuries on his right leg, 2 of them after his Achilles. That's correct. That's correct. And I said, you think this offseason situation is going to help? So teams that are looking at him from an injury standpoint, can he stay on the floor? But even more so, you know about Cousins' anger management issues and how his inability to control his emotions. And now you have this situation with the comments he made to his ex baby mama drama about putting a bullet through her head if his son did not attend his wedding. Like I said, this is a situation where 2 wrongs don't make it right. Female was wrong and DeMarcus Cousins was wrong. High profile athlete, black athlete involved in this situation. Career's over because now they're going to judge your character now. See, it's not only the fact that these organizations are looking at your injury history, the fact that you've had anger management issues in the past, even though the Warriors did take a chance on him because they thought people were saying it was not fair. And look, where was that free? I said, where was that free ring they were talking about he was going to get? It happened. And so he says he's cooked extra black. Oh, man. Let's get to my man speaking my sport talk. He says LeBron is trying to manufacture a legacy off the court and attach it to his basketball greatness. LeBron is diabolically strategic, and the crazy thing is with the media, it might work. Oh, no, it's not that it might work. It will work. When you have Nick Wright looking like Gonzo, when you have LaShannon Sharp, the #1 fangirl of LeBron James, in my opinion, when you have Colin Cowherd, who's always tried to make these analytical statistics and divorce analogies when it comes to LeBron James, jump shipping teams, I told you, because LeBron cannot catch Michael Jordan statistically in many categories, and I'm going to read something that I'm going to expose this myth about LeBron James. I'm telling you right now, it's pretty nice. Well, once again, good night, D. Take care, bro. I'm sorry, but it's gonna expose it really bad. But yeah, it might work. You have to understand the dudes who are here: Max Kellerman, Stephen A. Smith, or should I say Simp? But yeah. Speaking major facts on that one, speaking mine. That was a great comment. You know they're gonna use everything. They're gonna put everything but the kitchen sink when it comes to his off the court stuff. And just when I was giving him respect in one of my videos I made, he go out and file grievance for Taco Tuesday. Are you really focused on basketball or all these little off-season projects? And you know what's the worst part about it? His fanboys and fangirls and the media will still find a way to excuse the man if he don't win, and if he fails. Koku Tanko says Tim Duncan was pissed in Game 6 when Pop had him on the bench right before Ray Allen's miracle shot. I can't tell you how much this comment is a W in terms of a win. Greg Popovich blew that series by taking out Tim Duncan. He blew it. Tim Duncan has some of the best hands in NBA history when it comes to rebounding basketball. And ladies and gentlemen, we already know offensive rebounds are much more harder to come by because naturally you're out of position when it comes to offensive rebounds, especially with the way shots can go sometimes. Shots can be short and they can be long, right? But listen to what the Koku Tanko says right here, and I'm going to read it again. Tim Duncan was pissed in Game 6 of 2013 in the NBA Finals when Pop had him on the bench right before that Ray Allen shot. If you guys remember that play, LeBron James missed that 3 that would have tied the game. Chris Bosh gets the rebound. It's so crazy how much Chris Bosh gets disrespected, yet he made the biggest play. He made the biggest play of that game, and it saved the season of the Miami Heat with the Ray Allen shot. And that's why I said with LeBron James, as great as he is, who was the closer for this championship teams? Kyrie Irving, Dwayne Wade, Ray Allen hit the shot, Chris Bosh gets the rebound. It's so crazy how many key contributors he's had, and he gets all the credit. You would have thought there's 5 LeBrons out there. And let's face it, do you think 4 LeBrons four LeBrons would be pretty pissed off that the main guy LeBron James is dominating the ball? Because guess what? Each of them want to dominate the ball. They're egomaniacs when it comes to trying to confront himself into a team system. And you know what's so crazy? If you look at that first year in 2011, the Miami Heat were really trying to play a system that year. It's just LeBron James does not know how to play off the ball, and he looked very uncomfortable. And the easy thing that his fanboys like to say is, oh, LeBron, they really didn't have chemistry. Well, part of the problem is your man doesn't know how to play off the ball. He's an iso ball dominator that keeps telling people in the media, like the liar that he is, I'm pass first. How, Sway? How does somebody with 30,000 points, 8,000 rebounds, and 8,000 assists call himself a pass first player? And his fanboys slurp his nuts to believe that crap, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. But Coco Teco, speaking major facts. Bless up. Peace. Speaking my sports talk. Have a good night, bro. Appreciate that, man. Likewise to you. Coco Teco, Chris Bosh got a lot of heart to sacrifice. All he didn't talk that unfair blame. Oh, yeah. Chris Bosh was on First Things First, and he made Nick Wright so happy, saying that it's easy to play LeBron. You just have to adjust. But he also said that it's difficult to play because you have to adjust. See, Chris Bosh was saying the politically correct answer because if you remember before, Chris Bosh said that Kevin Love better be prepared because you would have to adjust your game. The reason that it worked is because Chris Bosh was able to stretch the floor, allowing LeBron to drive to the basket. See, that's the importance of having shooting and spacing with a guy like LeBron James. This is why I continue to say that for a guy who I have number 9 on my list, LeBron is not fundamentally skilled at all. He's not fundamentally skilled. That's why I said, what is LeBron's basketball acumen going to be like when he loses his athleticism completely? You can only put so much vibranium in your body because at some point it's going to break down. Father Time is undefeated. Carmelo said it best one time. You may not be able to defeat Father Time, but you can slow it down. And when you're getting statistics that you're well aware of, because LeBron has a stat sheet in his hand all the time, he knows what he's doing. If LeBron doesn't get what he wants, he's going to go after his numbers. That's not hate. Those are facts. It's just, again, his blind curtain jerkers don't want to see it. They don't want to see it. They just rather listen to the media spit false narratives on TV. It is what it is. And I agree with Coco Tanko. Chris Bosh does get a lot of unfair blame. All they keep saying is Chris Bosh couldn't lead a sorry franchise in the Toronto Raptors. I said, well, they didn't build around Chris Bosh the right way, number one. Number two, there was really no defensive stability. And if you look at the players, they were really not that good. So Chris Bosh didn't have a reliable second option. Neither did Dwayne Wade, if you really want to be honest. But people are going to say, but LeBron didn't have a second option, and look what he did. You know what's so funny, too? If LeBron is the greatest of all time, how did he lose with a 60-win Cavalier team in the second round? How, when you were the favorite to get into the Orlando Magic and you had the best record in the league? Oh, and by the way, you won back-to-back MVPs in 2009 and 2010, and you lost. And I'm going to say this again, ladies and gentlemen. LeBron James did not speak to the media for 2 weeks after he lost the Eastern Conference Finals. David Stern fined him for that and said that he had to speak to the media. LeBron just walked off the court and really showed no sportsmanship. It's so crazy how people forget that, because LeBron was really started to tread that water at that time. You know? You know, Coco Tango says, 5 LeBrons on the team will be fun to watch. It'd be interesting. I'll tell you one thing, they would all be complaining about foul calls. They would all be flopping. I mean, those are the definites. But yeah, they'd be fun to watch for sure. Yeah, I can see that. But I think from a character standpoint, that'd be really interesting too. I will say this: that team would be very difficult to defend. Very, very, very difficult. 5, 6, 8 players at all 5 positions. It'd be difficult, especially with today's NBA. Coco Texo says, branding. Got to make it seem like you're a passer so you help your non-existent argument about being close to MJ. Facts. Facts. Yo, but you said good night, man. I wasn't saying you was old. That was more speaking my saying that one. Oh, man. Omar with the laugh. Okay. Rebecca says, I swear LeBron left Miami because Chris Bosh was being offered a bigger contract. It goes deeper than that, Rebecca. It goes much deeper than that. Here's the thing. Dwayne Wade talked about LeBron James and the 2014 Miami Heat being on cruise control that year. LeBron James, according to many, was supposed to win the Defensive Player of the Year in 2013, but that award went to Marc Gasol. So LeBron James stopped playing defense from that point on. Yeah, he made second team in 2014, but I could tell his defense was not the same. He was putting not as much effort as he was the previous year. Then, if you remember, there was a regular season game between the Cavaliers and the Miami Heat. And we know that Wade was kind of slowly breaking down. And Wade was, 31, 32 at the time? He was starting to get real injury prone more so. LeBron told Kyrie Irving in a regular season game, and I think Kyrie Irving played really well in that game. He told him, keep doing what you're doing. You might see me there someday. That told me right there that there was at some point in time LeBron was going to go to Cleveland. The question was when. He already had his sights set on going over there. He didn't tell Wade about it. Also, LeBron was trying to get control of the Miami Heat organization. There's multiple reports on that. Pat Riley was not allowing LeBron to take control of the franchise because in the 2011 season, when the Heat got off to a very slow start, I should say somewhat of a slow start, or not meeting expectations early because people thought they were going to dominate through the league. It's what I said before. People picked the Miami Heat to win 70 games, ladies and gentlemen. 70. And they didn't live up to expectations. Excuse me. But he says, I swear, Chris Bosh did get offered a bigger contract, but part of the problem was because LeBron left. So that's why Chris Bosh got a bigger deal. So what people need to understand is LeBron was already jumping ship. And if you remember the 2014 NBA Finals, LeBron James did not play well in that final neither. But his fans already go to, he averaged 28, 7, and 7 on 57% shooting. This is why I continue to say that stats are for LeBron stans and context is for men. If you look deep into those numbers, those averages went up by the time that LeBron's teams were not in the game. And what I mean by that is they were down by double digits and they had no chance of winning. LeBron got to pad his numbers to boost his numbers to that 28, 7, and 7. Shannon has been capping for those numbers. That's the first numbers he go to every time Skip mentions record finals margin. I said, LeBron and the Miami Heat lost to a 38-year-old Tim Duncan. Yes, he was productive, but he was 38 years old. Manu Ginobili played the worst finals of his career in 2013, and he comes back, and it looked like he turned the clock and hand the test of time with the performance he put on. And the Spurs with their ball movement, the Miami Heat could not stop the ball or their man in that whole series. So LeBron's numbers may tell you that he was better than Kawhi Leonard, but Kawhi Leonard outplayed him in that series. And think about this too. Kawhi Leonard, Dirk Nowitzki, Andre Iguodala, and Kevin Durant have won MVPs on LeBron's watch. 2 of the 4 were role players at the time. Well, obviously Iguodala is still a role player, but Kawhi Leonard, before he became a superstar player, He was a role player on those San Antonio Spurs teams. You lost You lost two MVPs to two role players in back-to-back finals in 2014 and 2015. You know what they also don't mention, ladies and gentlemen? How about the fact that LeBron James in 2014 lost the last three games of those NBA finals. In 2011, LeBron James, after his Miami, he had a 2-1 lead, lost the last three games of those NBA finals. In 2015, he had a 2-1 lead on the Golden State Warriors, and he lost the last three games of the NBA finals. In 2017, he got gentleman swept. His Cavaliers lost the first three games of the NBA finals. Oh, wait, let's even go to 2016 before they made that historic comeback, quote unquote, in what was really not a watchable finals, in my opinion. It was one of the worst. He was down 3-1 to the Golden State Warriors. And then in 2018, he got swept. So we could talk about 2012 against Oklahoma City. We could talk about 2013 and 7 games against San Antonio. We could talk about 2016, the games that he won, and he was finals MVP in all three. But think about that, ladies and gentlemen. He had all those losing streaks playing in the NBA finals. I don't understand that. You cannot be the greatest of all time losing like that. You cannot. Especially what I've said this. His system is good in the regular season. And it was good against the Eastern Conference teams in the playoffs. But against higher IQ elite basketball teams, his LeBron system is used to get his numbers. See, Cleveland could look like this supremely good, great defensive team. But it's when they face the right matchup. That's when their team gets exposed. And it's because their quote-unquote leader not only does not choose to play defense, not only shows poor leadership, and people keep capping that he's this great teammate. LeBron has never been a great teammate. He has never been a great teammate. I'm sorry. He has not. He hasn't. They continue to say that, but no, he has not been this great teammate as people keep saying. That's the media making excuses. That's his fanboys and fangirls making excuses. LeBron James is an all-time great player, but they've made so many excuses of him when it comes to the Mount Rushmore and the Pantheon of Greatness. You cannot be the greatest player of all time winning 3 out of 9 finals. You cannot. And even if you want to excuse his 2007 finals, he still lost 5 out of 8. That's a 62% clip. That means he only won 37% of his finals. Nah, bro. It's not a good look. Not a good look. It's not. And I'm going to read a comment that a person made on He Knows His Sports channel. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, check out He Knows His Sports channel. So you really go check that out. But watch this. So before I continue, Koku Tenko says, when D was reading, 5 LeBrons would get washed, no defense and no handles. Like I said, as entertaining as that is, here's the problem. I just said that LeBron is not fundamentally skilled. So at some point, I get kind of tired of the athleticism because I want to say, well, I just don't know you as that. I would like to see more. And from an entertainment standpoint, it's okay, but it would get boring after a while. Especially, like I said, when you have to deal with 5 prima donnas on the basketball court at one time, that's not good. That would be a coach's headache. All of them trying to control narratives, all of them trying to be the coach. Yeah, that's a headache waiting to happen. That's right. I told you, LeBron could go to the Minnesota Timberwolves. They would be the talk every single day. That's how much they care for this dude. That's what they would do. Let me see. I didn't miss the comment. I saw it, D. I saw it, D. And let's see. It's true, bro. And he's saying what's up to everybody. So yeah, Rebecca, like I was saying, like back to LeBron going back to Cleveland, it was a business decision to go back home because when he left to go to LA, people were making excuses as to that LeBron had tried to reach out to Kyrie. Nick Wright was coming out here talking about he called the owner. He didn't call the owner. I said it last video. He had his camp talk to Dan Gilbert about Kyrie Irving. He didn't care about Kyrie. If he really did, LeBron would have made the effort to go to Kyrie, just like I said that Steph Curry flew from Shanghai to try to meet with KD. That's a true leader and that's a true teammate that Steph Curry tried to be. LeBron wasn't about that. LeBron is egomaniacal and narcissistic. He's about himself. Like I said, once he gains what he gets from you, he has no use for you. That's why I said that D Wade deals with his shit just because of the Hollywood opportunities, but he's blackballed D Wade in a lot of ways. What's Dwayne Wade's compensation award for LeBron James? Nothing. LeBron even said in an interview on ESPN, Wade is one of my best basketball friends. I thought he was your banana boat buddy, triple three, triple B. No, we're not talking about Big Baller Brand. We're talking about banana boat buddy. I thought LeBron was your banana boat buddy. He said basketball friend. I thought you would say best friends. I said, because when you're your best friend, you don't say basketball. Because when you're best friends with somebody, it's beyond the game. And maybe it is, but it probably is, but still. I'd just be wondering sometimes how Dwayne deals with that guy. That's why they said that D Wade is his psychiatrist. No, I ain't miss it, bro. I'm sorry. My man Josh the GOAT, man. When it comes to basketball, that dude knows what he's talking about too. Shout out to my man Josh. And so yeah, Rebecca, when you say I played, it's true. That's why I said you really have to watch the games and look deep into the numbers. That's the problem with a lot of these cats don't do. When you're a true basketball head, you look into context. Context matters. Stats only tell the truth, but they don't tell the whole story. Especially when it comes to LeBron James. They just think that the ideal numbers on paper, that it's the truth, that it's the final version. No, it's not. Shout out to my man D Jefferson's debate cage, man. Appreciate you, man. He says, yo, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like show, man. Show Lewis some love. I appreciate you, D. I appreciate you, man. Omar Page says, who is my favorite rapper? To be honest with you, I don't even really have a favorite rapper. But somebody that I do listen to religiously a lot, though, is Nas. Nas. The fact that he's a poet and a lyricist, his words just resonate with life. That's just me. I mean, I listen to him. I listen to Jay, Biggie, Tupac. Who haven't I listened to pretty much? And when it comes to music, I was a late bloomer because I grew up with Spanish music in the household. I really didn't know who these rappers were. It wasn't until I got to middle school that I started, that my friends started putting me on to the music and to hip hop and R&B, and started to listen to them. I've been listening to a lot of R&B, especially 90s R&B. But I don't know if you was talking to but D, but if it was to me though, like, that's oh man, here comes Alistair, bro. He about to put on a show. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna get to that dude in a second. But once again, shout out to my man Alistair 49, man. Dude knows his stuff. Basketball. No, he does. He knows b-ball, man. But he tends to be biased in certain things, though. But what is the topic? No, I was talking about. I first was talking about Derrick Rose being a Hall of Famer, which I kind of questioned. Then I kind of skipped to DeMarcus Cousins and his baby mama drama issue and his contract being over. And like I said, I'm continuing to expose LeBron James on a lot of certain things as it pertains to him being the greatest of all time and his outside charity work to try to use that as GOAT status. That's what I was talking about. Let's see. The West is weaker than the East this year. Alistair, don't make me get on you about this. why you think the San Antonio Spurs, and I'm going to actually get to DeMar DeRozan in a second because there's news on that. But, dude, Clippers, Jazz, Rockets, Sacramento, Dallas. The West is loaded. Denver, Portland. What are you talking about? Is the end result going to be these teams winning the championship? That's not what I said. I just said when it comes to playoff positioning, the regular season is going to matter more this year due to the fact that these teams got better. They stacked up. And we cannot sleep on the Golden State Warriors. We just cannot. We cannot do that. Now, you may want to, but no. The West is not weaker than the East. I'm sorry. When I look at the Eastern Conference, I look at the Indiana Pacers. When Oladipo comes back healthy, I look at the Bucks. I look at the Sixers. You are very delusional on your Toronto Raptors. I said that they're not winning an NBA Finals until the year 2038. Facts only. I'm sorry. I know you're doing out here skip drip Bayless out here with Uncle Kawhi because he left your team, and I understand that. I feel your pain, but I'm sorry, my man. It's the West is loaded. The East is still the weaker conference, to be honest with you. It's a reason why people were hating on Giannis Antetokounmpo for winning the MVP award, and that James Harden should have won it because what he did was harder, and that he's in the Western Conference. So, that's right, Antonio Brown. Yeah, I started with him in football. That's right. Shout out to D for that. So, let's see. So, let me get to Rebecca right here. She says, do you think the Clippers are going to win now that Kawhi Leonard is on the team? Here's what I think. They're contenders, but we have to see how their chemistry is going to work. And you have to also remember that Paul George is coming off of surgery on his shoulders. So I have to see how Paul George is. But they are in a good culture. They're in a good system. They have Doc Rivers. Pat Beverly is a defensive beast at the point guard position. So your 1, 2, and 3 positions are going to be secure when it comes to defense. Where I question the Clippers is going to be their depth in terms of having bigs. I feel like they're a big away. If they could get a Steven Adams, Marcus Gasol type to really challenge for that Western Conference crown. But the Clippers are going to be right there, though. They're going to be right there. The only way that I see the Lakers beating them is if LeBron James sacrifices his game and lets AD do his thing. That's the only way I see them winning. So, and the thing is, the benefit of Kawhi Leonard going to the Clippers and Paul George getting traded there and then Kevin Durant going to the Brooklyn and AD getting traded to the Lakers, it's a more split, even league now than it has been in a very, very long time. So, I love Alistair and I appreciate him, but he don't know what he's talking about. Talking about that the West is weaker than the East. Because he's still capping that his Toronto Raptors are going to win the NBA Finals this year. Listen, I got to see how Pascal Siakam does now that he's the main guy on the team. I just don't know how that's going to work. And I think Nick Nurse is going to have to coach this year because he don't got Kawhi Leonard to count on. So he might get exposed this year because Kawhi Leonard was getting a little too much credit when winning that championship. He deserves credit for being a difference maker on the Raptors. But Klay Thompson being injured, and I said it, ladies and gentlemen, Klay Thompson has not really shown up in any of the NBA Finals but this NBA Finals that he played in. He shot a career-high 50%. But why did he shoot 50%, ladies and gentlemen? It's not just the fact that he benefits off of Steph Curry, but he made an adjustment to his game. He was shooting terrible from the three-point line for a good part of the season. He added a mid-range game, ladies and gentlemen. And Klay Thompson was shooting very balanced in the mid-range. That's why he shot 50%, because he now knows that I don't have to rely on threes, on catch and shoot, to be able to shoot a high percentage. I can now shoot from twos as well. People don't understand that the mid-range game can be very deadly if you utilize it more. That's why I said that Steph Curry can be very deadly if he tightens his dribble and he adds a balanced mid-range. Not just a mid-range, a balanced mid-range. because Curry is actually much more ineffective when you actually force him to do more runners because he's so used to shooting the see. Because I'm saying if Curry can have many different ways to shoot the three, then he can have many different ways to score the basketball because he can drive to the cup. But then if you take that away, and then if you take his threes away, he's going to have to shoot more mid-range. That's why I said that Curry needs to work on his mid-range and tighten his dribble to stay away from those double teams because it'll allow Curry to make more quick decisions. And then he's going to be even more difficult to guard. So going into the comments section, let's see. Exactly, Omar. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Yeah, this is the this is the delusional comment that he makes. Thank you, D. But Omar Spez says the West was tough this year. Allison, come on, man. Y'all don't get it, man. The Golden State Warriors won 57 games this past season. The Clippers were the 8th seed and they won 48. 9 games separated from 1st to 8th. Did y'all remember when people were bragging about the Lakers being in 4th place? They were only 2 games out of 9th. They were 2 games away from being 9th. That's how tight the Western Conference was. That's why LeBron James gets too much overhyped credit for his 8 straight finals run in the East. Because he knew he really didn't have to play defense all season. He could just coast, knowing that the competition wasn't going to be as fierce. That's why the media kept running with the narrative. Look how dominant that the Cavaliers look. They were 12-1 in the playoffs and this and that and that. I remember that 2017 postseason. They breezed right through it. LeBron didn't have to do all that because he knew he had a great team and all these East teams were weak. Why do you think he sounded so worried by the time they got to the NBA Finals? Because they were going to play a real basketball team that played a real basketball system. And he had to go against a contemporary player that plays the same position as him, that is arguably one of the most lethal scorers of his generation in KD, Trey 5, Kevin Durant. Simple as that. Yes, he is very sour that Kawhi left. I told you. Skip Bayless going to need his costume back with the way Alice has been capping for Kawhi to fail so bad out in Clipperland. So the West had 550 win teams this year, while the East had 3 win teams, which shows you that the East is still weaker than the West. Exactly. And like I said before, the Clippers were the 8th seed with 48 wins. The Spurs were 7th with 49. So Rebecca says, I'm from Toronto and I already knew Kawhi was a rental from the start. Because, and speaking major facts, Rebecca, man, shout out to Rebecca for the comment, because Kawhi Leonard was traded there. That was not his destination. He told Spurs management that he preferred to be a Laker or a Clipper. He wanted to be in California. Greg Popovich just said, I'm going to trade you as far away as possible because I'm not helping out any of these rivals out here in the Western Conference. One less obstacle for the Spurs to deal with. Guess what? He goes to the East. Kawhi acts like a true professional. Even though some people were deeming him unprofessional with San Antonio, but I also blame the Spurs organization for that because people acting like the Spurs organization is so perfect, but nah. Both sides mishandled that situation. Kawhi ends up being a Raptor. He wins the championship. It puts a sour taste in Popovich and the Spurs organization's mouths because look what happened. And then the worst part was you had Skip Bayless hating on Kawhi Leonard like crazy. Like crazy. Just calling him number 2. And then everybody knows Michelle Beadle, how she was getting all over Kawhi Leonard and others rumblings that she might get fired. And then when I made the video, I just said that what I don't like about these sports analysts, quote unquote, these guys have not played basketball in their lives. And I said that you can show your biasness off camera. That's not a problem. But the fact that as a sports analyst, you're supposed to show objectivity. These guys don't really do that. Pretty much none of them. They're all fanboys and fangirls of their favorite teams and favorite players. That's why you're always hearing so many arguments from fans all the time in YouTube comments, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Google Plus, whatever social media outlet you can find. So going down the comments, continuing. Alistair says, yeah, but not this year. This time's different. I completely disagree. Sorry. Rebecca once again speaking major facts. She says Pascal is good, but not enough to be the face of the Raptors. And I was like, he just won the most improved player, but I just don't see Pascal taking that next step. If you remember the playoffs, there was a point in time in the Philadelphia 76ers series, that dude looked scared to do anything, to like make a play, especially if you look at that game 7. He was scared out of his mind because I felt like he just didn't want to be that guy that was going to be the scapegoat. If they ended up losing. And even in the Eastern Conference Finals, there were times like that. It was like Pascal looked more sure of himself when they won. And then you look at the way he played in the finals, it looked like he had a sense of relief because they got there. Because you know that the pressure would have been on had the Raptors not made it to the NBA Finals, And so I feel like Pascal got to play a little bit more loose and knowing that the Warriors were the favorites. So the pressure was all on them to win. I mean, the pressure was a little bit on Kawhi Leonard too, just considering what happened with the San Antonio situation. And it was like people were already saying how efficient he was. And then Max Kellerman was saying how he's a better player than Kobe Bryant at their peak and all this and how proficient he is. So that's the problem. We're just running with narratives. So that's why if Kawhi Leonard were to win a third title on a third different team and he's already won in both conferences, where would you rank him, ladies and gentlemen? It's just a little bit weird because he doesn't even have the statistical numbers. But yet, and he's 28 years old, and he's about to win a Finals MVP for a third time. If the Clippers were to win the title, and he would bring that franchise, you don't know what that means. If he brings a franchise that's never won a title, an NBA championship, and in the backyard of what? Lakerland? Lakers 16 championships? That would only be their first one, but that one would be crazy. And then with Paul George, I mean, has a team that could compete against LeBron because he's always complaining about not having a team to go against him. Well, that dude has been a slithery snake in his own right and not getting any blame. And I told you, Paul George is not your best player on the championship team. He's complimentary, but not the best. And that's my problem where D talks about. As I read his comment, he says, Alistair, you have to be realistic, bro. Y'all have no superstar and no team in history has taken down a championship that way. You have to have a superstar player. That level is needed to win a champion. Exactly. The only exception are the 2004 Detroit Pistons. They're the only exception. The problem is with how loaded Philly is, Toronto's not going to beat them. And you have to understand, the Raptors lost Danny Green also. They didn't just lose Kawhi Leonard. Now, OG Anunoby is coming back, but that's not enough. They're kind of going to be like what the Denver Nuggets are. A good team that's deep, that's sort of deep, but they lost some depth because now they don't have a 20-point scorer in Kawhi Leonard. He averaged 26.6 points for you. Now you don't got that on your team. You lost 3-point shooting with Danny Green, even though he was inconsistent pretty much most of the season and in the postseason. Again, you lost that too. So now you're asking Pascal Siakam, who was a complimentary piece, to now be the guy on the team. And I just don't know. And D's absolutely right. You have to be realistic. If you look at the balance around the NBA, LeBron, AD, Steph and D'Angelo, when Klay Thompson comes back. You have Giannis Antetokounmpo, Chris Middleton, Eric Bledsoe. With Indiana, Brogdon, and possibly, Victor Oladipo when he comes back. Yeah, you got to have that star player. They don't have that right now. That's why I don't see Toronto making that much noise next year. So Alistair says, we're running a new old school scheme this year, plus you forgot about the trade deadline. We'll see, Alistair. We'll see. We will see. He goes, we're getting a superstar February. That's what people forget. Who is this superstar? You got sources, bro? Let me know. Yo, Alice is speaking that yin yang right now. I'm not saying that that's not true because you make a great point, but you still need that superstar player. Still. She's speaking the truth. Rebecca's speaking the facts. That's what I said. If Kawhi Leonard stays there, the Raptors have a better chance of winning. But because he's not there, they're not going to win the NBA title. You're banking on a guy that just won a Most Improved Player award to be the guy when I just literally said on this stream that I told you at times in the playoffs, he looked scared to shoot the basketball. And now you're going to give it to him to say, be the guy now? He looked more confident once they got to the NBA Finals. Kawhi Leonard was that calming, difference-making presence that the Raptors needed. DeMar DeRozan wasn't going to be that guy because he's not the defender that Kawhi Leonard is. He doesn't take over the game like Kawhi Leonard does. And in big moments, DeMar DeRozan tends to tense up and get anxiety. And he struggles. And the thing is also, Kawhi Leonard was hitting some big-time three-point shots. DeMar DeRozan is just a mid-range shooter because he can't extend his game to the three-point line like that. And in the playoffs, he takes more mid-range than he does three-pointers. He doesn't really mix up his game. And so DeRozan, I told you, was not your best player on the championship team. And with him and Kyle Lowry, their emotional issues was really difficult for them. They were not able to deal with that playoff pressure together. Kawhi Leonard helped with that. That's why I said that Pascal Siakam is going to struggle a bit this year. That's correct. Thank you. Agree. Again, has the season started yet? No. So until then, it's just all talk and what? And hate? Can't wait for the season to go and shock the world. Listen, Alistair, you can believe that. Just like people were believing that the Raptors' 59-win team was legit and were going to the NBA Finals and they got swept. Okay? That's not hate. Those were facts. I said that team wasn't going to win. People were calling me crazy and they got swept. I'm sorry, Alistair. You got to be real. Rebecca says if KD and Clay were healthy, we probably wouldn't have won. Rebecca, yo, I appreciate you because you're speaking nothing but the truth and you understand exactly. People don't understand that until Klay Thompson got hurt, the Raptors were in a close game in Golden State and Klay Thompson had 33 points. And that was midway through the third quarter. Klay was on his way to 50. He was on his way to a 50-point game. He tears his ACL. The pressure was on Steph Curry. It was crazy how the Warriors even stayed in that game. It was crazy because they lost their best scorer at that point in time. He hit 2 free throws and then walked off the floor. And he was just going on top. And I'm sorry. Listen, but Rebecca's speaking major facts. I really think that they would have won because you saw what Kevin Durant did in those 11 minutes. Kawhi Leonard had to actually guard him. And Kevin Durant poses a problem for Kawhi Leonard. And the thing is, it's going to be one of those where they're trade baskets. And remember, the Warriors may not be as deep as they were in years past. But just having Kevin Durant makes all that difference. Because now Curry and Klay get more open looks. The floor spaces with them. With a great defense like Toronto, it's easier for them to key in on Klay and Steph. Especially with the fact that Steph gets doubled and triple teamed. They put a box and one on Steph Curry. With Kevin Durant on the court, they're not going to be able to do that because now you have a guy who can space the floor and he's able to create his own shot. And he's damn near unstoppable when he's on fire. Yeah, Alistair ain't trying to listen. Rebecca's dropping gems out here. This woman right here has a diamond jewelry shop because she's dropping nothing but gems out here. Yeah, I know. Alistair's delusional. He don't want to listen. She's a Raps fan. It could be hate. Oh boy. Oh boy. I could already see the basketball talk tomorrow. Unbelievable. That Alistair is a delusional cat, man. No, seriously, man. Rebecca's spitting straight facts, man. Shout out to Rebecca, man. I appreciate you, man, for coming on here and just spitting straight. And what I like about Rebecca is that she's very objective. You know, like she's a Raptors fan, but she's telling you that KD and Clay were injured, like they really could have made a difference. Because trust me, I'm gonna ask you a question. The Raptors in that game, if they would have went to a game 7, you're not telling me that that's some different kind of pressure? Because remember, they had home court advantage. And the Warriors, they've been there. They had a game 7 at home. But I think they would have been more focused on the road, knowing that they would be on the road in a game 7 in Toronto. That would have been Toronto's first ever game 7 in the NBA Finals. That's a different kind of pressure. That's a different pressure, especially when they're trying to win their first championship in franchise history. Yeah, that would have been something, man. So Omar says, "You got sources? If you do, let me know." Yeah, because he's saying they're getting a superstar. Who is that? Excuse Louis Basketball Network 1 second. Hello? Yeah, Toronto Raptors. What's that? Y'all said y'all got a player? You got a superstar? Who is it? We want to trade for a superstar. Who y'all got? There's a superstar named Nobody? Yeah, I know Nobody. Yeah. Nobody's legit. You can count on him to do absolutely nothing, for real. Yep. All right, when's the trade deadline? February 8th? I'll make sure to catch Nobody, man, on that trade deadline. All right, best believe. What? So, unless your sources are credible, man, nothing says he knows you. So, I'm telling you right now, that's tough. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Jay. Yep, I said the same thing. Rebecca, I don't know if you got some holy water, but I need you to put it on Alistair right now and make sure he carries a cross, because we need to clean out that whatever he's had inside. I'm telling you, because girl, you spitting straight facts right now. Straight facts. Let's see, my man D says, don't try to figure him out. His source is delusional. Oh yeah. You and those credible sources? Yeah, all right. In progress? Okay, Alistair. All right. I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think Alistair is trying to go to the 2K trade machine and trying to pull a little fantasy team as to who he could get as we speak. Yeah, all right. So he could come like, I told you this guy was gonna come and get traded. Yes. Are you banking to think it's Kawhi Leonard again? Okay. Keep that same energy when y'all get that superstar named nothing, Alistair. Just saying. My man D Jefferson says, this is about sports realism. This ain't about hate, bro. Alistair, there are no superstar players available to get for you and the Raptors out here. Bro, you acting like I'm the only one saying this, man. Everybody is saying this in the chat. Even Rebecca, who's a Raptors fan, is saying that. I'm sure Matt's smiling. Okay. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. Yep. Yep. Alistair with the shield deflector right there. Bro, we ended a dynasty. You sound like Shannon Sharp. Who's we, bro? Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, read this comment right here. Y'all ended a dynasty. I told you that I give Kawhi Leonard some credit, but don't act like he didn't have Fred VanVleet, who was killing in those finals. Don't act like he had Serge Ibaka, who was killing in those finals. Don't act like Kyle Lowry was balling. He played some of the best basketball he's ever played. Pascal Siakam was killing too. I mean, the man had 32 points in the first game. And I told you, the Warriors were still able to push that team to 6 games despite not having Clay for 2 of those games, and despite Kevin Durant coming in and then re-aggravating his Achilles tendon. That people were saying that it was just a calf injury. When I said it was an Achilles. I told you, those 11 minutes told me it was going to be a long night for the Raptors. And even despite the fact that the Warriors went on a 20-0 run, they barely won the game. They only won by 2 points. It tells you how much Kevin Durant was missed. You take away those 11 points by Kevin Durant, the Raptors would have won in 5. That's how important Kevin Durant's points were. And Game 6 came down to the final possession. The Raptors only won by 4. You're making it seem like if those guys dominated, that's not the case, man. That is not the case, Allison. That's delusional talk on your part, sir. Very delusional. Undisputed champs of the world. Yo, this dude's going crazy. Hold on a second, guys. Give me 1 second. Okie dokie. Just give me a second, guys. Okay. So, yeah, he says that they ended a dynasty or whatever. It's not connected. Oh, there we go. No? Hold on a second. Oh, okay. I thought this was working. This is disconnected. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys, I have to charge the battery on the laptop because it's already at 30%. Yeah, NBA champions of the world with no Kawhi Leonard. Oh man, Alistair, you're gonna get a reality check, bro. A very dense cloud. Without the best player on the team, are you kidding me? Yeah. I'm sorry. I think Alistair's doing stand up with the nonsense he's talking right now. Yeah, he playing 2K, bro. Yeah, he trying. He trying to pull off some trades. I did say Danny Green was no longer there. That's what I said. Yeah, he helped out. He was hot one game. I'm not angry, son. You're gonna be angry if your team doesn't make the playoffs. So best believe that. Nick Nurse is gonna get exposed this year. With all due respect. With all due respect to Nick Nurse. Injuries into the top. See, he doesn't want to hear that. That's what he said. He doesn't want to hear that. See, these speaking facts. Lewis, if we get a superstar, you have to admit we come out the East easy. But who's that superstar? Who? Because what they need is they need a reliable scorer. Who is that superstar, Alistair? Yo, this dude out here, man. I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. This is crazy. Who is this superstar you talking about? Alistair, you gonna suit up? I bet he's looking for that superstar in 2K. It's a my creative player. That's what it is. Raptors won with asterisk. Toronto fans have earned winning. Cherish it. Not happening again for some time though. Thank you, sir. It's not. I told you the Raptors will be back in the NBA Finals by 2038. 2038. And that's with all due respect. Rebecca says one superstar is not enough to come out the East. Thank you, Rebecca. It's like he's not seeing some of these other teams. Shit is ridiculous. Thank you for being rational, and thank you for being objective, and thank you for laying out the facts. Because Alistair just, I told you, he's allergic to facts. That's his problem. He started sneezing when he saw facts. That's the problem. Don't hold your breath on that one, Alistair. You won't. Oh, he's holding, and he think he's going to keep breathing. So, Rebecca, did we just do that? Especially the superstar that'll be on the market next offseason. Oh, major facts, and nobody's talking about that one. Very, very true, Rebecca. Very, very true. Very true. We have a championship to defend. You got the asterisk championship to defend with no superstar. Yeah, that's right. Oh, man. This guy had too much cocaine, bro. Oh, my God. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Who's gonna replace Kawhi Leonard? He don't even know. He looking on 2K right now as we speak. He looking on 2K. This dude Alistair. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, didn't I tell you Alistair was gonna put on the show? I told you when he puts on the show, he puts on the show. Oh my God. I think D, you need to make a delusional mastermind title. That's going to Alistair. Yo, Alistair is the delusional mastermind for this topic on his Toronto Raptors this week or tonight on this live stream on the Louis Basketball Network live stream. Oh my God, this is too funny, bro. Alistair still show up when the Raptors are struggling to be in the playoffs. Listen, I could imagine if the Raptors were 37-45 team. I already know. We gonna say, I told you so, bro. I told you so. But he gonna be like, no. Things happen. Like we were defending the title and so happened. We didn't get that superstar because da. Told you. We are your champions, so we are your as in world champions, not just NBA champs. Are the Toronto Raptors the defending NBA champions? Yes. They would be more legit if Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green were still on the team. But reality, newsflash, Alistair, they're not. They're not. Your 26 points per game score, gone. Your best player in the entire postseason that bailed out the Raptors so many times, he's gone. Gone, gone. He's gone. Who are you going to replace? What superstar is going to be available for trade? What, are you going to get Carmelo Anthony? Is he going to help? Because he's not that guy anymore. Oh, my goodness. Let's see. As we continue. Alistair, stick to MMA. That's where you belong, yo. And it's funny. I love MMA, and I would actually go back and forth for that one, too, when it came to Alistair, because Alistair is very knowledgeable in MMA. Very knowledgeable. So, it's crazy. Like I said, delusional mastermind sports talk right here, man. D, make it happen. Make that title. Make that title happen. So we need a trophy for that. Right now, Alistair, am I counting right now for his Toronto Raptors? With all his comments, he's won 20 mastermind points on his delusional list right now. So Omar Page says, what's your nationality? Are you talking to D or are you talking to me? Let me know, Omar. Allison says, Lewis, who you pulling to make to the finals? It's early to say, to be honest with you. It's early to say, but I do have my final four for right now. That would be Bucks Sixers and Clippers Lakers. That's who I have. That's who I have. But like I said with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he's a moron lowering the expectation. It's funny how he never lowered expectations for Shaquille O'Neal when Shaq was trying to get his first ring. But for LeBron being on the Lakers, he's like, not only does he say LeBron has nothing to prove, but he said the Western Conference Finals should be enough. I said, so now you're lowering the standards with LeBron James when you didn't do it to Shaq? As an all-time great, Kareem, and I have a lot of respect for you, I can't take you seriously on that comment. I can't. I cannot. Allison says true, but that doesn't shade the fact that was, dude, I didn't say that guys weren't defending. I'm just saying that you're delusional as hell thinking that the Toronto Raptors are going to make this crazy run. I don't know. I told you that superstar you're getting is called nobody. That's what it's called. Shout out to my man Low Key T in the building. And ladies and gentlemen, yo, if y'all on this channel, make sure go check out Low Key T. That dude presents great content. I was in one of his videos when he was talking about that whatchamacallit, that my life-sized fake ass Barbie over here. With her watermelon tits and ass over here looking terrible. She'd rather feel all plasticky because it makes her feel special. Sometimes I don't really know why women do that to themselves, man. I'm sorry, man. I feel like sometimes they're not. It's difficult. It's very difficult to be a woman sometimes, and you're not content or you're not satisfied with who you are. You don't feel beautiful. You don't feel confident inside, and it's unfortunate. And it kind of makes them. Some of them, not all of them, go out and do things like this. It stinks because then it's like I don't look at you the same. You may have the same personality, but appearance doesn't mean the same. That's why I said that shorty that did that to herself, she got to go back to the band though. Low key T know what I'm talking about too. Yeah, he's Canadian, so you already know what it is. Oh, okay, so he was talking about him. Okay. Exactly. Gone. Gone. Thank you, Rebecca. Like once again, man. Like shout out to Rebecca, man. Just coming with the facts right now. Just coming with the facts, and I appreciate her for being on this stream. I appreciate you. And Rebecca, please share the content. And I truly appreciate you for being here. You don't understand. Thank you for being here. Because Alistair, yo, trust me, if I had more people in the comments, man, he would have had everybody on fire right now. He got me on fire right now just talking about him, and I'm on here live. So Raptors will be the easiest knockout as defending champions in sports playoff history if they make the playoffs. You know what, Jay? That's a 99% possibility. Yep, 99%. And I only say that because Jalen Rose was a former Raptor. Got that 81 piece by Kobe. Ah, so you were talking about me, Omar. My nationality, to answer your question, sir, I am of Dominican descent. I was born and raised in New York, but my parents are from Dominican Republic. So if you must know, I am of Dominican descent. So, si quieres saber si hablo español, sí, hablo español fluente. So te lo estoy diciendo ahora porque estamos en vivo aquí with Luis, and then my Spanish name, Luis, or as D. Jefferson likes to say, Luis. Luis. That's how we say Spanish. So, but once again, shout out to my man Low Key T, man. Yo, go check out the man's channel. Please sub to the man's channel, man. And Low Key, man, let dudes know about my channel, man, and have them try to subscribe to my channel, man. I truly appreciate that for you too, fam. So I've been telling dudes about your channel. So, best believe, man. I want to see. It's always good to see YouTubers and see other YouTubers, man, support and do, have each other do well. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, shout out to you, Omar, for the question. And D. Jefferson, once again, showing love to Low Key T. Appreciate you. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, Rebecca's about to get a gold medal from me. Once again, Look at this comment. The best two-way player's gone. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. You see what I'm saying right here? I told you, right there. Kawhi Leonard, I called him the difference maker for the Raptors in terms of what he brought to the table. He brought defense, something that DeMar DeRozan didn't do consistently. He brought calmness, something that DeMar was not able to do. It's part of the reason why LeBron had mentally owned the Raptors. The reason he mentally owned them for 3 years straight was because of not having a guy like Kawhi Leonard. A guy who can consistently play both ends of the floor. And like I said, if you look at him, he has such a calm demeanor. He doesn't look like he gets rattled by the pressure. Who is that guy learning from? A fellow by the name of KB24, who he works out with in the offseason. Study tapes of Michael Jordan. He has a quiet, competitive nature about him, and you got to see more of his personality this past season with the Raptors. You know, Mr. You know, he said he ain't have a whole lot to spill. You know, because he's a Kawhi, the fun guy, Leonard. But, you know, I appreciate what he did for the Raptors, man. Kawhi Leonard showed you he was a great player. Great player. And like I said, if it wasn't for Kawhi Leonard, they wouldn't have gotten to the NBA Finals. And it takes a team to win, and his teammates were there for him every step of the way. They got big performances from everybody. Ibaka, 20 points in Game 4. Danny Green hit 6 threes in Game 3. Pascal Siakam, 32 points in Game 1. I think in Game 4, they had 4 guys score 20 points or more. And Kawhi Leonard only shot 43% in that NBA Finals while averaging, 27, 28 points a game. The brother had help. But what I will say, he was the difference maker in them getting there. And they wouldn't have won without Kawhi Leonard. So I'm not here trying to say that he ain't do that too. My man Low Key T says, salute right back at you, my man. Low Key says, did you see Luka in that pickup game? Yo, Luka can ball, man. For those who sleep in, and that's why I said that. And D Jefferson had mentioned this a while back. And I said this many moons ago when I did the video about the Dallas Mavericks. I said, with Porzingis getting stronger, getting healthy, and Luka Doncic is a very skilled player for a guy who is not known for speed or not known to be fast. He's crafty and skilled. Those get you very far in the NBA. When you have fundamentals, that's what I said with Tim Duncan, which I'm going to get on Anthony Davis about for a second, and Steven Jackson being the fanboy right now, even though I like Captain Stacks. Luka Doncic has a very nice skill set. Now, yes, he takes advantage of this era, which is why it makes it so much easier. When you have a skill set of a Luka Doncic, you can dominate this game, especially with the rules that benefit the offensive player. But Luka Doncic is very, very, very skilled. Very skilled. And so answering, my man Low Key's question, yeah, no, that dude is a baller. He's fearless. He's confident, clutch, willing to take big shots, can make plays. I mean, Luka Doncic is a special kind of cat, bro. And we haven't seen the best of Luka yet. And I'm telling you, that little European mob dynamic duo with KP and him, people are sleeping on Dallas, but that's another dynamic duo that we need to keep our eyes on, ladies and gentlemen, especially if they build right around them. That's why I said that the Western Conference is, and KP is going to be in a system with Rick Carlisle. Don't forget that. Rick Carlisle is very good with his four-square Princeton offense. So don't forget that. Rick Carlisle, one of the more underrated coaches in NBA history, and definitely is a future Hall of Famer as a coach for sure. Brilliant mind. Brilliant mind. Let's continue in the comments. Rebecca with fact number 20 tonight. He brought structure. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Yes. Fact number 21. I'm telling you, y'all need to pay attention to Rebecca, man. She's been spitting facts, on this channel, on this live stream. Rebecca, you really should go check out Speaking My Sports Song. I think you will be great with Mastermind titles. You will bring a lot of competition for sure, because you definitely know your basketball. All right, D Jefferson, take care. And you remember, I didn't say you was old, so. All right, peace, my man. And yes, the best two-way player on the planet with a real humbleness about him. Who did and who doesn't want Kawhi. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, later, D. Take care, my man. And Luka has the second best step back next to James Harden. I would make the case that it's a little more fluid because it then doesn't look like he travels compared to James Harden, because James Harden be doing some things, bro. You're invited to our live tomorrow. He knows the sport at 3:15. Yo, you really should join. I'll be there for sure. So it's gonna be fun. I would love to debate her, man. She knows the basketball. Yeah, Luka's nice for real. Okay. But anytime I'm live, Rebecca, you're more than welcome to come on this channel for sure, because you've been a godsend on this, especially with the gems you dropped tonight for sure. And so, ladies and gentlemen, what I wanted to get to is these last two topics, and I'm going to end the stream. So, DeMar DeRozan, according to reports, the Spurs are possibly trying to trade DeMar DeRozan, and reports are saying to the Miami Heat. Now, I think what the San Antonio Spurs have realized is that they are not able to. I don't think that they're going to be able to win with DeMar DeRozan, and he has a big contract. So does LaMarcus Aldridge. And I think with the Spurs, they need to rebuild and start over. And Miami could take that contract, and I think a second player to pair up with Jimmy Butler. I don't think much is going to be asked of DeMar, knowing the fact that Jimmy Butler is already there, going to be the best player, and the fact that he's a more clutch and more confident player, that DeMar could just kind of play off of him. And he'll be with with Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley, which I think will be good for DeMar DeRozan, and he's back in the Eastern Conference. And I think it's difficult for the Spurs to be out west. And let's face it, LaMarcus hasn't panned out to be what the Spurs were looking for. They were kind of expecting more out of him. And he's played well. But I just think the problem is LaMarcus is not a franchise player. Like, he's not the superstar that's going to lead you to an NBA championship. Because if you look at today's NBA, the emphasis has been the point guard. So the point guards are really more the focal point of today's NBA. And then when you look at the finals MVPs that have won in the last, 15 to 20 years, it's been nothing but wing players, which is interesting. The point guards are the focal point of the offense. But when it comes to the NBA finals in the very end, the wing players are the ones winning the award, which tells you that the point guards are very focal. They're the focal point throughout the regular season. But your best players winning the championship are your wings, which tells you that your point guards are not your best players winning the championship. Steph Curry would have changed that paradigm, but they went to Iguodala because of the defense on LeBron James. So I think with DeRozan, it's unfortunate because now you're getting a guy who's making max money to kind of be a journeyman. And now it's like he got traded to San Antonio, and now he's getting traded possibly to the Miami Heat if they were to trade him. I'm just interested to see who Miami would give up. And then if I'm LaMarcus Aldridge, I need to get out of San Antonio. And San Antonio needs to clean house with LaMarcus because it's time for him to move on, to a new team. I mean, who knows? Maybe a reunion with Damian Lillard in Portland, help slow the game down, So that'd be interesting. So that's on that. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the last topic of the night before I close. This has been a wonderful stream. I thank you guys for coming in. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share the content, share the stream. Appreciate you guys. The last comment of the day, and I agree with Jay. I would trade him too. It's true. They need to start over for sure. And This is about Anthony Davis and the comments that Captain Jack made about Captain Stacks, about him being, he could see him being better than Tim Duncan. I need to slap the hell out of Steven Jackson because AD has not proven anything for me to say that he's better than Tim Duncan. You could say that he's more talented and he has a very nice skill set, but don't forget that Tim Duncan was very fundamentally sound. Don't also forget that Tim Duncan was a great leader. Don't forget that Tim Duncan did anything it took to help the team win. Anthony Davis may have had some injured players, but Anthony Davis himself was injury prone. Like Skip said before, he's a nice PER guy, which I agree with. Now, he's already put the expectations on him, saying that he envisions himself winning the NBA championship and that he always wanted to be the Laker. No. LeBron wanted you to be a Laker. He just influenced you to saying that it would be good for your brand to be here. But LeBron is trying to use you like he's used Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Kyrie, and Kevin Love to win another championship so that the media fanboys could say that he carried you to a ring and that LeBron can recruit players. The same dude who's been trying to recruit since 2007 and hasn't been able to get anybody. So, best believe. But Tim Duncan is a winner. AD has not won anything. AD came out here and said that him and LeBron are not only a top 5 duo, the best duo in the NBA, but they're top 5 all-time Lakers and that they will put them in the starting lineup. This is how cocaine is a hell of a drug once again and how delusional Anthony Davis is. Now, do I appreciate the confidence? Yeah. But don't talk with your head stuck through your ass and writing checks that your ass can't cash until you actually prove it on the basketball court. See, that's my problem with these troglodytes, man. In terms of the media and then the fans, it's like if AB says it, it has to both to be true. No, it has yet to remain to be seen. Just like Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, it has yet to remain to be seen. Russell Westbrook and James Harden, they're gonna kill. Here's the thing. And speaking of the Houston Rockets, the only way that I see those two meshing is if one of them sacrifice. Because if they both try to dominate the ball, you saw the Chris Paul James Harden experiment, that didn't work out. It almost worked in 2018, but they had a deep team. They had a defensive team as well. They were very balanced. They weren't as balanced last year. They got weaker defensively this past season. And now you're bringing you traded a point guard with max money for another point guard with max money, who's a ball dominator and does nothing but chase triple doubles. And that's not hate. That's a fact when I watch Westbrook play. He sags off on defense on his matchup. Then when he gets called out for his defense, instead of focusing on the real problem, he focuses off the problem. That's why I said that Russell Westbrook, as great of a talent he is, he lacks IQ. That's what's been holding him back. He hasn't had a coach to tell him no. When Russell Westbrook has not had a coach in his career that can actually coach him, which has been LeBron's also biggest problem, he has to be forced. You have to force it to him to tell him that you have to succumb to coaching. Other than that, LeBron does not want to be coached. And like I said, this whole narrative of LeBron, he's never played for a Hall of Fame coach. He knows that his numbers will disintegrate if he plays for a Popovich, Phil Jackson type of guy. If you remember, back in his early days in Cleveland, he was paying Phil Jackson respect. But that was because that was LeBron in his younger days. That was before LeBron decided to leave and decided to form super teams. But super teams have always existed. But the Boston Celtics were the first super team with Pierce, Garnett, and Allen. Once again, idiots talking without knowing basketball. Pierce, Garnett, and Ray Allen were past their prime. Ray Allen and KG were both traded to the Celtics. They didn't call Paul Pierce and say, let's team up. They weren't free agents. Ray Allen was a free agent in 2012. And he went to go play with LeBron James in 2013. See, but they won't talk about that, will they? Or they won't talk about the fact that Wade and Bosh were all NBA players when LeBron joined them. Or how about the fact that if you're saying that these guys were modern prime super teams, and how Golden State has 4 future Hall of Famers, but yeah, are the same dudes that will call Clay and Draymond overrated, and that they would not be the same team if you put them on another team. But when it comes to LeBron James, they're future Hall of Famers. Well, Klay Thompson, I think, will be a future Hall of Famer, being the complementary to Steph Curry. Draymond, the only way I see it happening is if he wins multiple rings and maybe another Defensive Player of the Year award and makes a couple of more All-Star teams. Draymond Green's All-Star teams and the way he plays is a product of the system in Golden State. Same thing with Klay. And those are facts. Those are facts. So let's see. Okay, let's see. Disagree. Tim Duncan is better than AD. Stacks is drinking that crack juice. Oh, yeah. Because AD hasn't proven anything. Tim Duncan made 15 all-defensive teams. Tim Duncan is a 15-time All-Star. Tim Duncan won 5 titles and 3 finals MVPs. And made, 11 All-NBA teams? Has AD done anything close to that? No. AD is more comparable to Kevin Garnett. And even then, so he doesn't have the career that KG has neither. KG's won a ring. Let AD win a couple of more titles. And this is why I said again, which I don't understand. The LeBron James Justice Coalition continue to lower the standards and move the goalposts when it comes to LeBron James because they know how much he's failed. They know. That's why guys like Ryan Hollins is an idiot. He doesn't believe in what he's saying. He thinks he does, but he doesn't. Shout out to Biloso, who says hello. Hello, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Appreciate you, man. We were talking basketball, and what I was talking about was Anthony Davis. People saying that he is a better. Steven Jackson says from the Big Three, saying that he is a better player than Tim Duncan, that he will be a better version of Tim Duncan. And I said, how could you be better than Tim Duncan if he hasn't proven anything yet? Can't be. He has no. Anthony Davis doesn't really have a resume like that. So it's ridiculous. On top of that, like Jay says, anybody who does not have Dwayne Wade as a top 5 shooting guard ever, you got to be doing something else. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I have Dwayne Wade as the 3rd best shooting guard in NBA history. 3 championships, a Finals MVP, multiple All-Star appearances, the All-Star MVP in 2010, surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. And by the way, do people ever mention that both Wade and Kyrie averaged? Wade is a career 24 point per game scorer in the NBA Finals, and Kyrie Irving averaged what? When he was healthy in 2016 and 2017, on average 28 a game in the finals, 29.4 in 2017. Yes, so let me read this comment by Jay right here. AD is a great talent and is the best overall big in the league. Timmy had it all, though. Bling isn't everything, but it tells a story. AD has none so far. I definitely agree with this comment because this is very objective. Now, it's true. Bling isn't everything, but when it comes to winning and being great, it's the only thing. So it kind of stems from what Bill Russell will say. Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. That's the case when you want to be remembered as a champion. When you're a guy that wants to win many titles and you want to be remembered as one of the greatest. when it comes to, as he knows his sport. Go check out his channel, by the way. Check out He Knows His Sport when you talk about pantheon of greatness. When you look at AD, this dude puts up stats like an all-time big man. And that's why I said if this guy won titles, oh man. Yo, AD would be crazy. And that's if he could stay healthy. Because remember, yes, Tim Duncan had Greg Popovich who kept his career longer. But you can't. This is why I don't like comparisons with those. I told you. Look at Tim Duncan's 2003 playoffs. Look at his playoffs. This dude averaged 24.5 points. This dude averaged I think 12 and a half rebounds, 3 assists, and damn near 3 blocks. In the NBA Finals, he was, I believe, 25 and 15. I could be wrong with those numbers. But in one of those games, he had a damn near quadruple double in the closeout game in Game 6. I believe it was 21-20. I think it was 10 assists, and I think it was 8 blocks or something like that. But it was unbelievable. And I told you, great leader. While Anthony Davis out here requesting a trade to LA, going public because he got that golden corral 2 for 10 from LeBron James. And then LeBron took it further, said since he's aging like fine wine, let me take you off for 2 for 20 from Applebee's. Which one? You can have anything. 2 for 20. He is in the conversation. Dude is the third best, in my opinion. Third best. The city switched up on DeRozan. We all celebrating while he out in the desert in the middle of nowhere getting cut in round 1. Well, to be fair to DeRozan, he got traded there. He was promised that he was going to be a Raptor for life, just like how Blake Griffin was promised to be a Clipper for life, and they got rid of him. But the thing was, the Raptors knew they couldn't win with him, so they had to change. But I don't think to celebrate on one's misfortunes, it's just unfortunate that DeRozan's just not that kind of player. It's like you need another star, a superstar to pair with him, who's actually going to keep him on his toes and who gives you a presence to where DeRozan doesn't feel like he has to do much and like the pressure is off of him. He could just kind of play his game and do his thing. By the way, right here, Game of Thrones merch. The winter is coming. You could get this at I was about to say Walmart, Kmart. I mean, not even Kmart. I screwed up again. Sorry about that, guys. You can get this at Target. There you go. And I think it's a dope long sleeve. And so. And Jay says, anybody who doesn't put D Wade in at least the top 5 shooting guards in history should follow something else. Big facts. Big facts. D Wade's number 3. And the biggest reason I have him at number 3 is because he's a winner. He won. He was a great player, peak for peak, in terms of shooting guards in the game. He was a winner. Baloso, I agree. We agree on that, fam. I see you, man. Real recognize is real. Appreciate you. Analysis says even if he wasn't a Kawhi, he still got to keep him. He's been on that team since he was 19. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about Siakam? You talking about Siakam? Yep. And like you said, these are big facts. Oh, yeah. So before I end the night, I said I was going to do that. I'm going to read one last thing. And this is pertaining to the ladies and gentlemen. And this is going to dispel the notion of a lot of context that biased LeBron fans don't like to do. So I was on He Knows His Sports channel, and he was talking about, the LBJ brigades and the LBJ media. It's why he was saying that it's not LeBron James that he doesn't like, it's the media capping for him. So I'm going to read this on this channel, and I want you guys to listen and listen well, and I'm going to put my rebuttals on this. Here we go. He says, He Knows His Sport. You are biased against LeBron James. LBJ's accomplishments make him one of the greats. Don't anybody know LeBron's an all-time great? You see, his fanboys continue to make like everybody's out to get LeBron and that everybody hates him and that he's not even top 50. See, that would really be disrespectful. But let me continue. He goes, he never played on a super team. Yo, you should stop talking basketball when I hear you make a statement like that. He never played on a super team. He never played on a super team, as did MJ, Magic, Bird, and KD. You know what's so funny? LeBron James, when I made the video about MJ versus LeBron, and I showed the little caption of LeBron saying that, oh, that I'm an underdog, me? Or how about the fact that he talked about how easier it was going to be playing with Wade and Chris Bosh, then you didn't have to really take over the game, and you didn't have to control the offense, and you didn't have to try to do everything. And then when he loses to Golden State and Kevin Durant, he talks about how pissed off he is, and that no, I don't know what a super team is. I ain't never played on a super team. That exposes your bias right there. Michael Jordan was on no damn super team. People need to cut that shit out. Michael was not on no damn super team. Magic and Bird were on super teams, yes. KD, yes. KD, the Snake Cupcake Durant, as many people like to call him, joined the 73-9 Golden State Warriors that lost 7 players just to get him. But yeah, he joined Steph and Clay and Draymond. I really more so count Steph because Steph is the superstar, and Clay a little more because he's the all-star. No disrespect to Draymond Green, but he's not going to be the player he is if he's not on Golden State. Those are facts. So people need to stop that shit. They had 3 of the top 5 shooters in the NBA, so I do agree with that. But anyway, he goes, a super team being defined as a team with 3 elite NBA players. So D Wade is not elite? Chris Bosh wasn't elite? Chris Bosh is an 11-time All-Star. Or did you forget about that? D Wade is a 13-time All-Star? But did you forget about that too? Oh wait, and LeBron would see with this comment, he trying to catch you, trying to say that Draymond is legit 3 elite players. Draymond is not elite. He's good, but he's not elite. What a biased fanboy. MJ and Pippen are on the list of 50 greatest NBA players, and Rodman was the NBA rebounding champ all 3 years with the Bulls. Magic, Kareem Worthy, and Bird, McHale, and Parrish are on the NBA's 50 gold list. KD, Steph, and Clay are 3 of the top 5 shooters. Folks should stop lying and acknowledge that MJ played on a super team for his last 3 rings when they acquired Rodman from the Spurs. Failed to mention that they got Rodman past his prime. Or how about the fact that Rodman was not an offensive player? His job was to defend and rebound. And by the way, Jerry Krause was the one who brought him in. Michael Jordan and Scottie did not want part of Rodman because of their beef with him in Detroit and his physical play. Michael and Scottie said if he felt it was the right thing to do, you should bring him in. And Phil Jackson said you have to apologize to both Michael and Scottie. Dennis Rodman didn't want to do that. He had no interest in playing basketball. He said he wasn't even sure if he wanted to be there. So, my friend, you need to stop. Because you sound stupid. You see, this is a perfect example of trying to make an excuse for LeBron James. Then he goes, MJ says the Bulls team that set the 95 then NBA record 72-10, 95-96. That was his favorite Bulls team, and that stood for decades was his best team. It was also the year Rodman, who was an elite defender, also joined the team. Like MJ, LBJ was a Finals MVP for all championships his team won, and is the biggest sole reason why they lost 6. Are you forgetting that part too? LeBron has half of Jordan's Finals MVPs as much as championships and has just as many losses. You can't be the GOAT. Sorry. You cannot be the GOAT. Rodman was almost out of the league, but see, they don't mention that part, man. What you would call it? Digga LeBron's never played on a super team. You pretty much regurgitated the same words he said in the 2017 NBA Finals when he got his ass kicked by the Warriors. He got a taste of his own medicine. His fans couldn't stand it, let alone the media fanboys who were clapping saying that the Cavaliers were going to beat that super team in 5 games. I remember Nick Wright saying it. I remember Shannon Sharp saying it. And then they started crying when they didn't get it done. And what was the first thing they did? They made excuses. Just like Max Kellerman does too. Okay, he goes, LBJ, Kareem, and Kawhi are the only NBA players to win Finals MVP on 2 different teams. I'll take it a step further. Kawhi's the only player to do it in both conferences. But LBJ took it one step further in that he was the Finals MVP twice with the Heat and once his return to the Cavs. He took it a step further. I just told you Kawhi Leonard won in the West with the Spurs in 2014 and in the East with the Raptors in 2019. LeBron got those Finals MVPs in the Eastern Conference, my friend. So how did he take it a step further? If that would have been the case that Kawhi Leonard not won the championship and the Finals MVP with the Raptors, I tell you, man, statistics without context. I told you stats are for LeBron stance, context are for men. We all man here in the Louis Basketball Network. All my subs are men in the Louis Basketball Network, except for that Alistair 49 guy, the delusional Toronto Raptors fan. But I understand, man. He reps his team, so I give him that respect. So if you swap MJ and LBJ on their respective teams and ask who would own most of the rings, MJ would, LBJ would, in my opinion. Not mine. Next, LBJ owns 4 NBA MVPs and 3 Finals MVPs. His most valuable player accomplishments exceed that of Magic and Bird, putting him closer to MJ at 5 and 6. And you know what's funny? I still have Magic and Bird over LeBron James. That's why he's number 9 on my list. And no, he's not closer to MJ. He may be closer to MJ in regular season MVPs, and he's not close in Finals MVPs. He only has half. So that's just stupid. LBJ entered the NBA from high school and was Rookie of the Year that year. Kobe also entered the league but failed to win the Rookie of the Year. Let's see. If Del Harris, who was the coach of the Lakers when Kobe joined that team in '96 after being traded on my birthday, July 11th of that year, and Del refused to play Kobe minutes, along with the fact that Kobe was not developed yet, and on top of the fact that Kobe could not start because Eddie Jones was the starter on that team, do you think Kobe was going to win Rookie of the Year? See, but you failed to mention that LeBron got the green light the minute that he got drafted by Cleveland. Again, exposing your bias. If Kobe played the amount of minutes that LeBron played in his rookie season, maybe there's a chance Kobe wins Rookie of the Year. Don't you think so, panel, to my subs? But this guy wants to go, Kobe failed to do it. He wasn't playing that many minutes under Del Harris, and Del Harris did not like the way he played. So he was held back by the coach. But once again, LeBron fanboys fail to mention that part. Let's see. Kobe in 20 seasons earned the MVP once, and LBJ had better stats that year. Kobe isn't the greatest Laker of all time. His 2 Finals MVPs and 1 regular season MVP is exceeded by Kareem, Magic, and Shaq. Once again, you fail to not use context. Kobe sacrificed his stats. That is how Shaq got 3 Finals MVPs. Let me ask you a question. If Shaq is so that much greater than Kobe, look, I'm on record as saying that Shaq was the best player on the Lakers. But if Shaq is that much greater than Kobe, Why didn't he win with Penny Hardaway in Orlando? Can you answer that question? Why didn't Shaq win with Penny in Orlando? I mean, because Penny made first team All NBA in just his second and third season. I mean, he averaged 50, 40, 90 in the NBA Finals. He was the first player to ever do that, averaging 25. So Shaq had his 20-point score. Notice that Shaq has had 20-point scores everywhere that he's been in terms of winning his rings. And when he first started, Penny Hardaway averaged 25 a game in the finals. When he had Kobe, Kobe's a career 24.8 points per game score in the finals. In 2006, D Wade averaged 34.5 points per game, including 42 points per game in the last 4 games of the series. But my friend here will never mention that part, right? Because all those guys were just chopped liver, and Shaq was pretty much, I'm on record as saying Shaq is the most physically dominant force of his era. To the point that, ladies and gentlemen, that Shaq, if he would have kept himself in shape, would have probably had more rings and more finals MVPs. I don't understand that. Shaq didn't start winning until Kobe developed and when Phil Jackson came to the Lakers. So, and as my man Jay says, Draymond is the icing. You can't build with him. So if you were to do an NBA draft again, are you going to draft Draymond Green as your franchise player? This is what I'm talking about. No context. No context. So here we go. Yeah, he's clearly delusional. I'm going to keep going, Omar. I'm going to keep going. See, Kobe was an MJ wannabe, but his MVP count shows he isn't on MJ, Kareem, Magic, Bird, or even on LeBron's level. Let me continue to keep reading. This is how delusional he is. And Omar, you are absolutely right. Ding, 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 ding. The price is right. But I'm going to keep going. You point out that LBJ played in the Eastern Conference and thus was able to make the finals 8 consecutive, suggesting that the Eastern Conference Finals is weak. However, it was LBJ and company that dethroned the defending champs, who set the new NBA record of 73-9. I've said this a million times. Did we see 2016 MVP Steph Curry in the postseason? Forgetting that he injured his ankle in Game 1, forgetting that he bumped his knee on a web spot and tore his MCL, sprained his MCL in Game 4 against the Houston Rockets. Or that the Warriors lost 9 playoff games, and they were a different team when Steph Curry was not on the floor. They had to rely on their defense more, and Klay Thompson was the primary scorer. Why is it that these guys never mention this? That's the problem, because these guys don't have context. This is a delusional fanboy that I'm talking about right here. I'm not saying you don't have entitled to your opinion, and I don't have an issue if you like LeBron James. My problem is you got to be objective, and the problem is in this statement, he's talking about he knows being biased, but you're being biased in your commentary, which tells me you just pay attention to what's in front, but don't swim into the water. It's basically saying you pretty much stay on the surface and float, but don't dive into the water to see what's underwater when it comes to LeBron James and his statistics and his accomplishments. So, look at this. So then it says Golden State respect for fear of LBJ calls him to woo KD from OKC to join them. More context. LeBron James got a stimulus package. Did y'all forget that Golden State had them down 3-1? If you look at the body language of the Cavaliers, they look like they didn't even want to be in the NBA Finals. But see, they're not going to talk about that either. On top of the fact that he was being questioned after 4 games that he was padding his statistics. What happened in Game 5? Let's see. LeBron initiated a little skirmish with Draymond Green, who should have got suspended against OKC, but they didn't do that. because the league wanted to make sure that Draymond was there for the NBA Finals against the Cleveland Cavaliers. But LeBron had to get Draymond Green suspended. I mean, hell, dude, if you were really smart, why didn't you get the star players suspended? But you see, nobody's even also going to talk about Andrew Bolton getting injured and getting undercut by J.R. Smith. Or talk about the impact that Kyrie Irving had from games 3 to 7. Or talk about the fact that once Andrew Bogut went down with that injury, Harrison Barnes was shooting nothing but bricks, making a brick house, and LeBron James sagging off on defense because he didn't really have to guard anybody and he could play free safety, or that Iguodala got back tightness and back spasms and his back tightened up on him in that series. So many things went wrong for the Warriors in the last 3 games of that series, including the fact that both Clay and Curry choked in Game 7. For the Cavaliers to win that series. And the Cavaliers were the more talented team. The Warriors are a product of their system. They play together like a well-oiled machine. LeBron James had the Cavaliers trying to play on talent, on paper. Talent on paper won because of the circumstances. It wasn't because of LeBron's brilliance. That's overrated. Sorry. No. I told you that the 2016 finals were the worst finals, one of the worst finals ever. 6 of the 7 games were blowouts. Game 7 was the only game that was nip-tuck back and forth and could have gone either way. Steph Curry shoots 6 for 19, turns the ball over crucially down the stretch, misses some shots. Kevin Love stays in front of him. Kevin Love has 14 rebounds in that Game 7. People don't understand the impact that J.R. Smith had on Klay Thompson defensively. Excuse me. Once again, disrespecting his teammates, or the physicality that Tristan Thompson brought, or the rebounding that he provided. J.R. Smith's three-point shooting. They don't want to mention that. They just want to mention that LeBron did all of this by himself. That's the mark of a delusional fanboy. And that they beat him so bad. Did y'all remember? Steph Curry was getting all these phantom foul calls in Game 6, and he fouled out. And what did LeBron say after Game 6? They're broken. But you ain't mentioned the part that you got Draymond Green intentionally suspended off of shit that you started. And did you hear what you said after the game? Oh, I don't know if the league is going to look at it because there's just some things that you don't say to a man. And then it. So did Draymond call him the B word? He did. But LeBron initiated that whole thing from the start. That's why LeBron is a manipulative, calculating person. So anyway, let's see. Think about it. They set the new NBA wins record. Why not keep their team intact and come back stronger next year? Answer: they felt their chances better at beating LBJ with the addition of AD. To be honest, wouldn't you go after Kevin Durant knowing that he was a free agent though? Even if he was a snake, quote unquote snake, for doing what he did. Think about it, folks. If Kevin Durant is a free agent, he has a chance to help you make a championship team. Wouldn't you sign him? Even if the decision that Kevin Durant's making in terms of his legacy is, again, snakish according to many. The thing is, if Kevin Durant doesn't make the move, and let's say he doesn't win in OKC, would people be talking about Kevin Durant like that? No. He'd become one of those, one of the more underrated players that nobody really talks about. Great scorer, but he never won. So Kevin Durant took control of his situation and put the matters in his own hands. That's what he did. So then he continues at saying that they set the why not keep their team answer. They felt their chances of getting an offensive and defensive juggernaut. Oh. And Kevin Durant still has yet to make an all-defensive team, but he's a defensive juggernaut, according to this fanboy right here. Oh, but he's not better than LeBron James, but you just called him an offensive and defensive juggernaut. See how you contradict yourself in this statement right here in your number 7? That's crazy. You see? Yeah, KD was also assurance to the refs. Of course. Thank you, Josh, for mentioning that. I realize folks are entitled to whichever player they choose. However, to ignore the accomplishments of other players to boost their favorite player is to be dishonest. Isn't that what you're doing with LeBron James right now? Exposed once again and contradicted yourself. See? And that MJ played on a super team for his last 3 rings. No. There's a video that I put out on lowest supporting cast for an NBA championship on the road to an NBA title. The 96 Bulls are not as high as the 97 and 98 team. You know, the same team that that Dennis Rodman played on, that quote unquote is a super team. If the Bulls had a super team, why are the Bulls are in the top 5 for lowest supporting cast? The 98 Bulls had the lowest supporting cast of any championship team. See, he wants to talk about Pippen and Rodman as a super team. Pippen is a Robin. Pippen was always complimentary. He was not a superstar. Pippen was an all-star. He was a high-level all-star, but he was no superstar. You know, here's another thing that I want to mention about Scottie Pippen. As great of a defensive player as Scottie Pippen was, did you know what his average was against the Knicks in the 94 playoffs? He averaged 21 points per game, and he shot 40% from the field. The Hugh Hollis call, I get it. Could have sent us to the Eastern Conference Finals. But that was why Scottie Pippen was so bitter for a long time. He wanted to prove that he could win without MJ to prove his value. The reason that Scottie is content now was because of what's been happening off the court in his life with Larsa Pippen. So that's why you see Scottie Pippen defend MJ even more so now than ever. And to be honest, Scottie put in that work. But at the same time, MJ made him the top 50 player that he is, as much as Phil Jackson too. So not just Scottie's work ethic, but Michael pushing him. Michael was better with Scottie, no question about it. They complemented each other so well. But that's what Scottie Pippen was always. He thought that he could be a Robin. See, Kobe had that label under Shaq, and he wanted to prove to people that he was not no Robin, that he could be an alpha. I told you, what kind of Robin in 2001, when Shaq averages 28.7 points per game in the regular season, Kobe averages 28.5. And through 3 rounds, ladies and gentlemen, Kobe was averaging more points than Shaq. He averaged over 31 points per game. Shaq was at 30. This was in the postseason. When Kobe's numbers fell down in the finals, Kobe finished at 29.7, while Shaq had 30. But tell me, name me a number 2 that gives you number 1 option numbers like Kobe did in that 2001 postseason. Or how about the fact that when Shaq averaged 27 a game in 03, Kobe averaged 30 a game, which was Kobe's best statistical season at the time. It was his best overall statistical season. 2006 was his best scoring season, but 2003 was his best overall season as a player. In the PRA XYZ thing that the LeBron sexuals love to call the points, rebounds, assists. Well, Kobe, 30.7 rebounds, 6 assists. Pretty good overall, right? And so he goes, I realized that MJ played on a super team for his last 3 rings. Look at the championship teams on that video that I posted, and I'm telling you right now, he'll regret making that statement. Then he goes, his team was favored to win 5 of his 6 finals. Those were Vegas odds, but let's be honest. He was not the favorite in 91. The Lakers were actually picked to win that. He was not the favorite in 92. The Blazers were picked to win that one. He was not the favorite in 93. The Phoenix Suns were expected to win. He was favored in 96. He was favored in 97. In 98, the Jazz were picked to beat the Bulls because of the Bulls being in the Eastern Conference Finals and 7 games with the Pacers, people felt that the Bulls were older and too tired to be able to compete with a fresher Jazz team and more deep, because the Bulls were not as deep in '98. They really didn't have depth. Their best player off the bench was Tony Kukoc in terms of scoring. And Dennis Rodman did not have a great 1998 NBA Finals. But I continue. He goes, only the Supersonics were favored over the Bulls. That's a lie. That's a damn lie. And look at that. On MJ's worst finals, LeBron still doesn't hold up to his jock. MJ in 96 averaged 27 a game. He only shot 41%. That was his worst finals of the 6 that he played. And he still was able to average 27. LeBron James averaged 17.8 on a stacked Miami Heat team against the Dallas Mavericks, in which he was favored in his team. Are you kidding me? 5th best scorer, 3rd best on your team, outplayed by Jason Terry and JJ Barea. And I said last night, Udonis Haslem has more full quarter points than you. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here, man. Shout out to my man Doug Banks. What's good, bro? Damn, I'm like dislike, man. Yeah, you out here capping, hating. Doug Banks, what's good, bro? Nah, I'm playing, man. But yo, ladies and gentlemen, subscribe to my man Doug Banks' channel. Subscribe to my man Doug Banks. Subscribe to this channel, man. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, go subscribe to Doug Banks, man. Shout out to him. Appreciate you for coming on the stream, bro. It says, he goes, I like MJ. Yeah, right. Have much respect for his game and play. However, truth be told, he's one of the greatest guards to play the game. Bill Russell, who owns 11 rings in 13 seasons, was MVP 5 times and rebound leader 4 times. 4 times, in my opinion, is the greatest b-ball player who ever lived. I feel his accomplishments may say so. Well, it's a matter of individual greatness. It's a matter of accomplishments, and it's a matter of team accomplishments. You have to factor all those in. Now, if you want to say Bill Russell's the greatest, that's fine. He has a case to be the greatest of all time anyway. He's on the Mount Rushmore. I have Bill Russell at number 3, behind Kareem and Michael. Magic rounds out the Mount Rushmore 4, and I got Larry Bird at number 5. So I got no problem with that, what he was saying. But he says, I realize you will not even give LBJ his credit, but it won't diminish his accomplishments and greatness. MJ never won a ring without Scottie Pippen. Well, LeBron James didn't win a ring without Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Kyrie, or Kevin Love. So what are we talking about? Because you just said that no superstar does it alone. But you failed to mention that LBJ didn't win without those guys, and all those guys are going in the Hall of Fame. Well, Kyrie is the long shot if he stays healthy, but Kevin Love is going to be in the Hall of Fame. Bosh and Wade are going to be there. So that's why I'm saying that this guy's delusional. We know that he won without Pippen. Pippen was such an integral part in those championships. The problem is LeBron fanboys make it seem like if Wade, Bosh, Kyrie, and Kevin Love were not integral to any of LeBron's 3 championships that he won. See, that explains why their toxic mindset is just as bad as his 6 finals losses. And those are facts. So then he goes, LBJ, like Magic, is the type of player who controls the ball a large part of the game, and when paired with competitive players, is a force to be reckoned with. Here's the problem. Magic played a system, LeBron doesn't. LeBron plays his system. There's a big difference. Such a fanboy. If making the finals 8 years in a row were easy, others, including, would have done it. Are you forgetting that LeBron has had stacked rosters, and are you forgetting the fact that he really didn't play that much competition in the Eastern Conference? See what I'm saying? This is what these guys do. They change the standards and they move the goalposts for LeBron James. See, they don't get this. He's already here capping, giving them excuses. That's what I'm saying. MJ, Magic, and Bird won their rings with the clubs that drafted them. So shouldn't that give them more credit? LeBron had to jump ship to win his championships and join other All-Stars. So just as much as you say Kevin Durant didn't win without 2+ All-Stars, Not that they're LeBron James and he jumped ship to two teams. Oh, but Lewis, he didn't have any superstars when he went to the Lakers. But you're failing to mention that LeBron texted a lot of the superstars in the league. They said no thanks. But see, you ain't gonna mention that neither. See, that's the problem with delusional fanboys. They always mention stats without context. That's their issue with these idiots. These guys are like manufactured LeBron factory products, man. It's sick. These guys are sick. He goes, here we go. So Jay was saying before I finish with LeBron, Phil went to Kobe and said that the game plan will be different in the finals. The East had no centers for Shaq. Shaq needed a lot more help in the West. Cough, Kobe went at those teams, including the Spurs. Thank you. Let's look at 2000. Game 7. Shaq is the MVP of the league, has a historic season. Shaq and Kobe was not having a great series in that Portland series anyway. But Shaq has 18 points and 9 rebounds in Game 7 against a loaded veteran Portland Trail Blazers team that had a lot of length, who swarmed Shaq in the post when he would get single coverage and he would be deep. 18 and 9 from your MVP. Kobe Bryant scores 25 points, has 11 rebounds, he has 7 assists, he has 4 steals, and he has 2 blocks. Unbelievable. And Kobe sacrificed, because if Kobe didn't, would him and Shaq have championships? No. And Phil's resume would have less than 11 rings, let alone the one that he won as a player. So let me continue, as he's saying. He goes, oh, they played on super teams during all part of their careers. Listen, Magic and Bird are more on the super team. You got to exclude Michael out of that. His best player was Scottie Pippen. That's it. Both offensively and defensively. Kareem was in the latter stage of his career when he went with Magic. He was older. But even then, Kareem won 1 MVP and 1 Finals MVP playing with Magic. Magic won 3. So they played on super teams during all part of their careers. These are relevant facts that are without dispute. If comparisons of LBJ's career with other greats are to be made, their advantages need to be pointed out, because to ignore them is to pretend that they exist. But don't forget that LeBron put the advantage in his favor on his standards. Did you forget that too? Or are you going to leave that out? He did that, and he still failed miserably when it comes to league finals losses. Lost 6 out of 9. Lost 5 out of 8 if you want to include the 8 straight finals. I can only imagine how many more rings LBJ would have if he was on the team with one of the NBA's 50 greatest, along with rebounding champ. You're forgetting about the LeBron James system. Bird played in the system, Magic played in the system, Jordan played in the system. That's why those guys were successful and they won, and they have a better finals percentage than your man LeBron James. Because if a stacked team is playing an isolation basketball system, they're not going to win a championship against higher IQ basketball teams that play together. And when it's the right time, crunch time, you give it to your best player, but still find a way to play as a team. LeBron James is not a leader, and he does not play with his teammates together as a team. I told you, his system works when it's in his favor. But against high IQ basketball teams, he's not going to win. And his CVS receipts full of excuses from the moon and back to the earth, or at least to my laptop, tells otherwise. That's why LeBron has a career 18 and 31 NBA Finals record. It says a lot. He has small guys on him. He won't take advantage of them. He'll stay on the perimeter and pass it off to his other teammates because he's afraid of the free throw line. Oh, but LeBron averaged triple-double in the finals. That's the first thing the fanboys do. He doesn't take accountability for his defense. He pads his stats, and that's the first thing they go to, his numbers. That's why LeBron is like one of the phoniest all-time greats of all time. And I have him at number 9 on my list. You know, he's an all-time great. He's a great player. But he's one of the phoniest GOATs I've ever seen. I've never seen a superstar get more excuses like this guy does. And those are facts. Always ready for that crap. Always ready. So if you would have had an NBA 50 greatest of all time, this is a delusional fanboy. This is a fanboy who doesn't use context at all in his entire argument. If he did, I would have gave him more credibility, but I can't. So Omar says that goes to show you how delusional his fanboys are. They follow by what they hear, but not by what they see. It's the blind leading the blind. Absolutely correct. I told you, Ray Charles sees through the bullshit. Stevie Wonder can see that shit. Mr. Stevie Wonder. He could see through that. Big facts, Josh. He was in stress for the referees because once they knew that the Cavaliers couldn't get those whistles, they said it was over. What up? What up? I was like, dislike, yo, disrespect. Kobe didn't pass because the scorer's mentality is my shot is better than yours. LeBron can pass because he's been stopped, and LeBron knows his shot isn't always the best shot that brings LeBron to 3 and 6. I'm going to say this about Kobe Bryant, too. If Kobe Bryant didn't trust his teammates, he would hold the ball. And I said that Kobe has low percentages to where he was inefficient at times. But when Kobe trusted his teammates, he gave the ball up. And when he was winning championships with Shaq, he knew when to get his and when to take a step back and let Shaq do his team. They learned to complement each other. That's how you become one of the most dominant 1-2 punches in NBA history, when you complement each other. Shaq said, the mark of a great player is how you make the other players play around you. Shaq said that in 2001 when Kobe scored the 45 points. He had 10 rebounds and he had, I believe, 3 or 4 assists. Kobe was sharing the basketball, still getting his numbers. And Phil did it by design. Shaq would dominate at home and Kobe would dominate on the road. But the Lakers were playing like a team in those playoffs. And in the finals, Kobe took a step back and let Shaq dominate. Because Dikembe Mutombo cannot guard Shaq as good of a defender and shot blocker as Dikembe is. See, but they don't, fanboys like this don't want to put context. Oh, if he had a top 50 GOAT. Oh, if he had a Hall of Fame coach. His numbers would go out the window. That's the problem. That's why LeBron is hog-tighting these stats. And as Jay said, that's why LeBron is 3 and 6. Always appreciate what you're doing here, bro. I appreciate you, Doug Banks. Yo, share the content, man. Let others know about the channel. Appreciate you as always, bro. Appreciate you. Read this quote, ladies and gentlemen. Look at what my man Jay says. Pippen was not a superstar. LeBron fanboys continue to say, oh, 1-9 without Pippen. And I already debunked that myth in the last video. Pippen was not a superstar, and LeBron has not won without a superstar. Exactly. Next question. These idiots, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. LeBron never won without a superstar. But he had a top 50 GOAT. Shut your damn mouth, man. Shut it up. Shut it up, bro. Doug Banks making the point right there. Wade was a superstar. Everybody knew who Dwayne Wade was. Did people forget what he did in that 2009 season? 30 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. First team All-NBA and defense. No, second team defense and first team All-NBA. Was second in MVP to LeBron James. So do people forget that shit? All of a sudden, like if Wade was a scrub, like he was a nobody. So these fanboys make me sick in terms of how they treat other players, whether it's an all-time great or a teammate he played with or against. It's ridiculous. And sometimes it's not even LeBron, it's the media. It's pathetic. But anywho, So I just wanted to debunk that myth on LeBron James. And ladies and gentlemen, it is the end of the Lewis Basketball Network stream. I am going to call it a night. I will see you guys tomorrow. I will do another live stream tomorrow, so best believe that, or pretty much in a couple hours since today's Sunday. But ladies and gentlemen, I thank you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being on the live stream. Once again, man, we made it through, what, just about 3 hours on here. So, ladies and gentlemen, you already know the deal. Bless up. Live, laugh, love. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of the stream. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Share the content. And I want to comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of the stream. Share it with others. And for those who talk that nonsense, who talk that stupid ass yin yang and that biased fanboy talk, come to the Lewis Pharmacy, Lewis Basketball Network Pharmacy, and I'll cure them up with the facts as I speak for over 3 hours on this channel. All right? Spoon feed them the facts. They don't want to hear this shit. But like I said, and let them watch the live chat as well. I appreciate you as always, man. Always showing much love. Without you guys, without you guys, there is no me. Let's get them likes. Let's get the subs up, ladies and gentlemen. But once again, man, I truly appreciate y'all, man, as always. All right. Until the next one. See y'all. Have a great night.